Welcome back. We are back with another episode of Daddy Issues. And today we got a special guest.
Yeah.
We got Keon's dad.
The guy who didn't pull out. Now I'm here, guys.
In the building.
Yeah.
In the building.
Raised us. No free lunch. It's trash.
We can get the real scoop on young Keon.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying?
Recap last night, man. Went over talking points.
Oh, y'all went over talking points?
Hey,
Dad, don't say
You
this.
can't
I
talk
already
about
said
this.
This
Is off limits.
That's who I was. Don't mention this. Thanks for joining us, man.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are.
Keith Polee, Keon's dad. I actually have 4 boys total. Been grinding, working. My enjoyable thing is being a father. If you I tell people all the time, you know, whenever that time comes and I'm buried, put on the front, here lies the man that 4 sons. You can put everything else on the back. Butthole, whatever. You put that on the back. But you gotta give it up. That's the only thing I think that I did well at.
Yeah.
You know, was raising kids. It's like I was born. That's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, everything else you know. But that is the one thing I enjoy. You know,
Okay.
it's my biggest joy. You know, and times 10. There's nothing even comparable. So I love it. It's what I did. It's what I do, and I still love it. You know, it's even on the way down here, I was like, I get to see my boy. You know? And being that he's my first, my oldest, it's still that. It's that bond that you know you have. I still remember. You know, just like it was yesterday. You know, his first Christmas, all of that. And how much I put into him. But then by the time his other brothers came, I was like, you know, so he got it all. You know, I'm just being honest. You know, I really wanted to give him as far as knowledge, how he spoke, how, you know, he carried himself. And then as I 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like, you know, y'all play together. You learn from him.
Right.
You know? So he was my first, like, everything.
Yeah.
I tell women, I'm like, you want to know what love is, have a child. And I love my kids. Like, I give anything. You know?
That parental love is different.
Right.
It's truly unconditional.
It's real love. It's not that, you know,
because relationships be changing. Somebody you thought you loved forever, y'all don't even speak no more. But the kids,
it stays. It stays, and that's the one thing that I always said: make sure you're there. No matter what I do, make sure you're there for them.
Right.
You know, you sacrifice. I'm just starting to live actually right now. You know, because I see they doing their thing.
Yeah.
You know, now I could like take a trip here, get my own stuff. But before it was like, you know, it was them.
Are they
them
good?
First, and then me, I'm last. You know, no matter what. But I that's what I did. That was the sacrifice that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
You know, to make sure that they had everything. I don't think I think one time his granny bought him some off-brand tennis shoes. Dude cried about it. Because all he ever wore was Nikes, you know, everything. Everything was name brand.
This kind of stories.
We go
That's
to
your
the
fault,
house
though. And then she never bought me shoes again.
because he threw a fit. It was like, and he's coming to me like, Dad, what are these? And I'm like, you know, but you got to wear them because she bought them as a gift. So now you got to try to tell him appreciate no matter what anybody gives you. You still appreciate it. But he had, his first pair of shoes were the Air Jordans. And he couldn't even walk, but he had them. You know, so all through his life, all through all of that, they always had name brand good stuff. And so we go to the house and she goes, here you go. And he's looking at him like, bubble gum? She know what it is. I'm like, oh my God.
Wait, but let me say, though, we had name brand stuff until we were of the age to buy our own stuff. Because by the time I got to 12, I was like, I want these. You was like, get a job. I'm like, I'm 12. Get a job. And I got a paper route to pay for the shoes that I wanted. He was like, I'm not doing it.
That's a great lesson.
But although you got the paper route, who'd you wake up to take you in the morning?
I didn't have a license. You made me get the job. You got to drive. This is your fault.
Bruh, I would be in the bed. He's talking about, we got to go do these papers. Man, quit, bro.
Oh, so you had to take them?
I had to take them, man.
Wait, so y'all had a paper
you
route.
had a job.
Right. You had the paper
So
route.
it backfired. You
Isn't
just
that-
bought me the shoes. It could have saved you so many weekends.
Isn't that the worst when you try to give your kid a responsibility that becomes your responsibility?
Right. I'm in there wrapping papers because we got to get it delivered.
Yeah.
So I'm in here wrapping them up with him and putting them in plastic. It's raining. I'm like, here, throw them out the window. I go out on this side, you go on that side.
I used to get on my mom when I get the report that I missed houses. I'd be like, see, you didn't take me over there. You should have told me.
Because the paper route, you got to start early.
Early,
They drop them off at like
Oh, yeah.
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And you wrap them up, do all that stuff, half sleep, and then toss them to the house or whatever. And then they would, in our neighborhood, they would complain that they weren't on the porch. Like they didn't want them in the driveway, or they didn't want it. They wanted it on the porch.
Don't put them in the grass. Don't put them close by.
So they give you bad reviews or whatever.
Yeah, all that throwing it on the porch in the video game, that's fake.
Nah,
right.
They wanted it.
I used to love that.
I was like, "What's wrong with the
I remember
driveway?"
that.
You know what I mean?
that.
They was like, "It wasn't on my porch," and I would get knocked, and I was just like, I kept
But
that
he
thing
did
for
do
like
his
2
thing.
months.
You know, he did it. He saved up. You know, because as fashion took over, everything cost more. And I was always under the thing where, like, to me, tennis shoes, like Nikes are Nikes.
Right.
And there's Jordans. You know, I'm like, okay, but you can get a regular pair of Nikes. And he's like, but that's not what's in. So he wanted to get the other. I was like, well, you got to kick in.
Right.
Because I'll do the, like, if they're 120, I got 60.
Yeah.
You
Oh, yeah.
do the rest.
I feel
I'm
that.
not-
That's
I'm
fair.
not gonna
I
do-
feel that.
That's fair game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but I'll
Right.
help you out, and that's just kind of how it went. You know, their whole life was always making sure that they had the best of the best.
Yeah.
You know, and I wanted them to have their own rooms. You know, I grew up. Me and my brothers and sisters all in the same room. All of us. I mean, we in there deep.
Yeah.
You know, grown folks. You know, in bunk beds. You know, so I was like, I don't want my kids to live like that.
Right.
So when they came, everything was about them. Right, making sure they got their own stuff and everything spoiled, like But at the same time, I'm reaping, the benefits of
Of who they are.
who they are.
Yeah,
I mean,
who they are today.
that
Yeah.
is. I tell people all the time, you really want to put an investment. People put investment in money, stuff like that, for a return or whatever.
Right.
If you put that same investment into your kids, the kickback is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that is my greatest joy, to be able to talk to my friends and say, how your kids doing? Oh, man. It ain't like,
Yeah.
man, just suck it.
Some people don't want to talk about what they kids
Right. They go on to the next topic.
Yeah, they go.
How you kids doing? You know,
I was at work the other day. Like, talk about your kids.
All right.
Or when your friends see the same enjoyment that you have, and they don't even know them. Like they're watching you guys on shows or whatever, and they go, I saw your son the other day, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it to me, that's everything.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that you can't, nobody can take that from me. No matter what I'm going through, it's still like my boys is doing great. That's man, it's awesome.
So is it like that basketball dad energy when you first watch him score the layup? Now you see him get his laugh on stage. It's like, oh.
What the funny thing was, I remember when he came to me, he graduated, and he had his degree, and he goes, I think I'm gonna do this comedy thing. Now, as a father, because I always said this, I never want my kids to say, I could have been this if you would have backed me.
Right.
So if he wanted to be whatever, I'm gonna be like, okay, I got you, but that's your choice, because I don't want you to come back and say, Dad, I could have been this if you'd have just pushed me. Because I always look at my life and said, if my dad would have been that way, could my life have been different?
Yeah.
So when it came to my own kids, I'm like, okay, let me just not do the things that my dad did and try to make sure, when it comes to love and hugs and kisses and stuff, my dad was like, I think I was 36. My dad said he loved me for the first time.
Oh,
but
wow.
I knew he loved me.
Yeah.
But he never,
Saying it.
I think he brought me a skateboard. And I got ready to hug him. He goes, men don't hug. We shake hands.
Oh, okay.
What? So by the time,
That's
man,
old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, it was that support. That
Right. You still knew that he had your back.
Man.
Still knew he loved you.
Right.
Right.
But
Yeah.
so for me, it was like, nah, man. When I see my kids, I hug, kiss. I don't care how.
Yeah.
I think I was kissing my son at the airport in San Francisco, my other son, and the lady looked at us like, we was,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's my son.
Right.
And then she was like, oh. But I was like, she kind of like, I'm like, man, but that's what I do. So
Yeah.
for me, it's all about love. It's all about, putting everything you got to get the results that I have. And I have been blessed beyond,
And then we're putting you in a home.
Right.
That's a payback. So after all this, fast forward 30 years, where your dad? I don't know. We put him in a building somewhere.
Now Keon's the oldest.
Yes.
Who's the favorite?
Oh.
Okay.
My mama answered that
You
question.
see with the hard
That's
hit?
good.
I'm
That's
hard
good.
hitting questions.
That's good. I think all of my kids actually have embodied something from me.
Right.
So the sports aspect, clearly him. My second son went to the military. I was in the military.
Okay.
Now my number 3 son, I'm gonna give him everything. That's my.
That's
like,
you.
Yeah, that's me.
He's you.
Like if I got an issue and I really want it resolved, depending on what it is. Let's say I want to choke somebody. I'm not calling him. Because
Okay.
he's gonna be like, yeah, Dad, he's gonna give me the whole, if you do that, you might do this, you might do.
Right.
Well, I call my number 3, Kyron.
They're going to be like, where we choking him at?
Right, where we at? So he's like the embodiment of all of me.
Right.
He did a little bit of sports, but didn't go all the way. Did school, but didn't go all the way. But but that's my dude too.
Right.
You know, but he's all of me.
Right.
Versus he's the sports guy, don't play around. Keith's all the intellectual, just, he'd probably come in here and break all this stuff down.
Yeah.
That's just what he do.
Yeah.
You know, and then Kyron is like, I'm just doing whatever.
Yeah.
I'm hustling, you know. So, you know.
Usually the baby gets the most time.
They get
because it's more when you're settled down,
Correct.
more when you're more relaxed.
Baby
I noticed
crew.
that with my kids.
And then I have my fourth son, and I don't do anything. You know, and they always talk about, man, you don't do this. He's I wouldn't say he's spoiled, but he doesn't get the same energy, that they get. I remember one time they came to Keon came to the house and they were playing basketball, I think, in the house. And so of course I'm telling my little dude, don't be playing ball in the house. So he goes, well, Keon was playing. I said, what? So I called Keon. I go, Keon. He goes, huh? He comes in there and says, don't be playing ball in my house. And of course, Keon's like, yeah, whatever. But my little dude was like, good. You can tell him what to do because all he gets told is what to do all the time. I was like, because he asked me, he goes, why do I get to call you Pops? I got to call you Daddy. I said, because when you get to the point where I don't take care of you anymore, you can call me Pops. But you don't get to call me that before you get to that point.
Right.
So, but to watch them, he's always trying to compare, how I deal with them. He goes, why do you ask them stuff, but you tell me stuff?
Because you're 10.
And that's what I told him. I said,
Right.
because they're grown. I said, there's going to come a point in time in your life where you'll tell me I'm going to have to ask you, can you do this? Can you do that? Or do you mind doing this? I said, but right now I tell you everything to do because you're under my care. So that's the biggest thing between having, oldest to the youngest. But,
What's that age gap?
Well, I was already.
You were already in
30s.
college and
I was in
everything, right?
college, yeah, I
Grown.
was.
you're gone. Yeah.
We were all adults.
Okay.
Yeah, he's my youngest one. My baby is like the one that you be like, oh, goddamn.
He's playing with my kids right now.
Oh.
He plays with them. He
Oh,
don't
yeah.
play with us. Yeah. He's way behind.
Yeah, it's a big gap. Big gap. Especially between him and him. What is it, 26, 25 years?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
You like Uncle
the
Big
funny
Brother?
Yeah,
Yeah, Uncle.
Uncle brother?
Yeah, Uncle brother.
but the thing of that was, I thought I was done, and then I'm like, oh no, I got another son, But then it just kicks in.
Yeah.
And then I look at it, that's what keeps me young. Getting on the floor, playing cards, playing video games. So I'm not like an old dude.
Right,
right.
I still do things. Matter of fact, I just raced him the other day. I beat you, Dad. I'm like, well, why am I out here racing this? What's the point? What am I trying to prove?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's my favorites are, like I said, they're all individually. They're my favorites in their own way.
Right.
He gave us
take
a
from all.
Democratic.
Yeah, he
Right.
you take
Gave
from
us
each
a
one.
Democratic
Off
answer.
camera,
That was
y'all
safe.
know who it is.
I mean,
My mom be like, he was
My
first."
favorite switch. Well, mine. They
Okay.
switch. I'd be like,
DC with
well,
the
he's
real-
my favorite today. He's
Yeah.
my favorite yesterday.
Mine too.
Yeah, it just depends. Who's
I know Keon ain't feeling
Kendrick right now.
Kendrick right now.
No, straight.
His post on the story.
Right.
When is this whining phase over with? Keelan's my guy.
Yeah.
Keelan
Imagine
is
if
my
Kendrick
guy.
read that.
He can't read. That's the beauty of it. He can't read.
I'm gonna save it for him for
Right.
later.
But I'm gonna tell him when you get older. You guys were trash when you were
Yeah.
3. You were trash, and then you get older, and then they're fine.
Who
But
cried the most out of
Keith.
your kids?
Keefy.
Oh my
Keith?
God,
He
was
cried
Kendrick.
McGee
Yeah.
He's
the
I
whole
remember-
time.
All the way. All the way. And the funny thing with him is he was the most like me. Smart as a whip, but lazy as hell.
Keith is the middle, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he would always do stuff that I used to do, and that's why me and him talk. We of course we get along great now, but I would always tell him, he goes, why you like this? Because I don't want to see another me. And he reminded me so much of me, so much talent, so much ability, but yet you would just waste it away because you just want to be lazy. So me and him clashed a lot, not clashed, but we had our moments,
Right.
to where, now, we could talk on it, and don't get me wrong, I definitely got my failures. When I think back on different things I could have done different, but he was too much like me, and it made me nervous.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my God, this guy's gonna be just like me. 'Cause I used to do funny story.
Uh-huh.
One day, I took a pen and I poked it in the toothpaste, just a bunch of holes.
Uh-huh.
And my dad goes to get the toothpaste and squeezes it, and of course it comes all out in his hand.
Right.
He calls my name. I come in there and he got toothpaste just all in his hand. just go to your room. He didn't really know what to say. So I did stupid stuff like Kiwi did the same thing. He would do stuff like, why would you? And then I would remember myself and be like, okay, well, he's just doing what you do. But it made me nervous.
Right.
So I was constantly trying to beat him out of it. Like, don't be like me. Don't be like me. And I sucked, you know what I mean? But he, oh my God, yeah. But he cried the most.
Okay.
He didn't, potty training, this guy, I put him on the pot, I'm done. Kiwi would sit to the point he fall asleep.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm not peeing. I refuse to pee.
So he was on the toilet long, like I am now. I just be in there reading, reflecting.
Yeah, he don't do anything. He was the one that, had just
He had all the sicknesses.
Yeah, he had
all the ailments.
Everything. He got, for everybody else would be like just flowing. Him, he would be like, I remember he got to, what was that, chickenpox?
Yeah, chickenpox.
And he was happy. He got it. So he got him. And then it's like, I'm at home with him, and then he gets one.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, look, I got one. So they start going all over. And now he's like, my itching. I'm like, I told you didn't want that. But he just wanted to be.
He was trying to catch it.
Right.
Like,
He said, "Woo!"
He
not
got
fun,
one.
bro.
He was so happy. He goes, well, I got one. And then it just starts spreading.
Right.
And he's itching all of us. I say, see, I told you.
Kids do anything to get out of that day of school.
Oh, that was the greatest week ever.
Man, I remember the
Calamine
chicken
lotion
pox.
everywhere.
It was the worst. Like the best, like because the real itching was only like a couple days, and then it was just like I'm just out of school now.
Yeah.
But them baths, like them oatmeal baths, wasn't
bad-
fun.
oh,
and
man.
and the lotion
I was
wasn't
too
fun.
young to remember my chicken pox.
I don't. That's what I'm thinking. I don't even know if I had them, but I think because I've never.
My mom
I
said I was a
thought
baby when I had
I
it.
must have been the same way because I was like, I'm gonna get it for sure because I don't remember having them.
Yeah.
So then when he got them, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get them. Then I didn't get it. Then Keefe got them, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get it. And
Yeah.
nothing happened. So either I had it when I was a baby,
Probably so, yeah.
and I don't remember it.
Because I was like
anything.
7, so I remember it.
Cause I was looking at people's skin. I was like, I don't want
it
this.
wasn't
Oh, it looks
fun at all.
disgusting.
I got it
I was
in
like
high
11,
school.
12 when I got
Oh,
it.
you got it late.
Yeah.
You probably got them bad then.
I was tore up.
I did
You got-
get
you
the
got
mumps
scars?
though.
Yeah, I still got scars all
Yeah.
right on the side
Oh,
of my
wow.
face.
I was
head.
7, and I remember, but I was old enough to where I didn't want my mom helping me because she was like, "You gotta take the bath." I was like, "Well, you gotta get out."
You got
Like I didn't want her. I was like, "Well, you can make the bath and then get out," because I had to just lay in it.
yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I don't want you in here. I'm 7. I got 7-year-old nuts now. I don't need you in here seeing these."
I had the mumps though. I remember that vividly.
I never had
I
that.
never had
I never had the mumps.
Ew.
Man. Yeah,
I
it's just
don't
all
remember
this was swole up, and I was hallucinating. I was like, and my boy Leon was outside with the mumps playing. Like, Anthony, come out. I was on the couch like, Leon. His face was swollen when he was asking my mom. He's like, he got the mumps. Don't you got the mumps too? Yeah, but I'm out here.
playing. Yeah.
I'm out here.
Yeah, it was different. It was different. Even growing up, it was way different. We whenever we got injured, that's it.
Yeah.
Ain't no hospital visits at all.
Nah, you just got to tend to it at the
Right.
house.
Matter of fact, well, they can't see it, but this right here, got a scar. This dude kicked my bicycle. I had the white walls, on my bike, and he kicked it. And I was like, hey man, don't kick my bike again, because he left a shoe print on my white.
Yeah.
So he kicked it again, right? So
Oh,
he kicked it again.
double
So,
down.
And so he goes and takes a RC cola bottle and breaks it on the porch. And I'm like, yeah, I wish you would. I broke. Running around the house, just bleeding everywhere.
Oh,
This is Halloween. So all we got was poured a little ointment inside. I'm burning. I don't even know what it is. It is a Bactine or whatever it was. All I know is burn.
Yeah.
My mother wrapped my hand up. I went trick-or-treating that night. Now,
Sounds about right.
Wasn't gonna miss the trick.
no, we're gonna miss the trick-or-treat.
No urgent care. None of that.
So no, none of that. So I go to the door and I'm like, trick or treat, and I got my bandage on, blood starting to seep through. You can see a little bit of pink.
Yeah.
So I'm getting extra candy, and I'm like, yeah. So my bag is like full.
Yeah.
But the rule was it was a community candy. But I had more candy than everybody else. So I was like, I don't want to do community because I got all the, oh man, so my brother being who he was, we said we do community. So I had to throw all my stuff in there. I don't even think I wanted candy anymore. I'm so pissed. I was like, I don't want anything no more.
Never heard of community
Yeah,
candy.
Yeah, when you
We used to all dump it in a big pile in the living room.
that's what I'm
We
saying. The
didn't.
community.
that's
Nah,
what-
heck
I was
nah.
the baby.
What was
This
in
is
your
mine.
bag? What
I
was
was
in
the
your
Well, we
bag?
didn't do that.
I was the cutest tonight.
We had pillowcases.
We would get our
Well, yeah, but
bags.
we
Yeah.
still had to dump them in the middle. It was
No, we
community
didn't dump
candy.
it. We made trades though.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
So
trade.
Definitely.
Keith liked the chocolate candies. He liked the
Yes.
Kit Kats, Reese's. All. I was Starburst, Skittles. So I'd be like, all right, give me your your fruit candies, and I'll give you my chocolate. So we would make those kind of trades, and then Kyron, we were just like,
You gave him the scrap.
Candy
You gave him the
corn.
spree.
You can have the candy corn.
No, I
all
like
the loose.
sprees.
You like spree?
Yeah, everything that was fruit, the flavored candies, I was all in. Gummy bears, all that. But
Gummy
the chocolate stuff,
Soft
only
sprees,
chocolate I liked
yeah.
was Kit Kats.
Hard sprees.
Yeah, soft sprees
Or
are
peanut
bomb.
M&Ms, of course.
Soft sprees is good. The hard ones,
The hard ones are
out of here.
Eating chalk.
Yeah, the little cylinder.
Yeah.
Little, nah,
No, not
man.
the big ones.
That's what I was talking. I was talking about
The chewy sprees are the best ones.
Chewy sprees are
Chewy
great.
ones are fire.
Yeah, I'm talking about them
And
hard.
sweet
joints.
tarts. I used to love sweet tarts.
I didn't like sweet tarts.
I
Chewy
love
ones
them.
when
The
they
chewy ones is fire. When they
yeah.
got the big chewy ones.
Yeah.
The funny, they don't even make the candy we grew up on. I got to go to like one of them off-brand stores, like
Yeah.
Boston baked beans.
Yeah, I remember those.
I
I
remember
used to
those.
love
They
those.
don't-
Charleston
man.
chews.
I used to love
Right,
Boston,
right.
the little box joints.
And then after the thing was over, you blow into it till it get
The
wet.
whistle.
Don't make sound no more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
Chico
Johnny
sticks.
Appleseed.
the Johnny Appleseed,
Chico sticks.
Jawbreakers.
Oh,
Right.
Johnny Appleseed.
And I never understood the whole thing
They were
about jawbreakers
stupid.
because they really would almost break
Man,
your jaw.
I
trying to
got one
break
stuck in my nose in church. I thought I was dying. That's what I get though.
Is it church?
He was in church with a
Man, I was in
gobstopper
there
and
like, look, Scott, and then I snorted too hard. Panic.
He was like, he was like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall.
Man,
thing out
exactly.
there, man.
I don't know how I got it out of my nose, man, but
Yeah,
I remember those box
Annihilators.
joints.
Oh man, we
Annihilators, yo.
Man, I
Now
still be
I look at
Annihilators,
it.
though.
I look at it now, and it's like they don't have it. Back then it was
Hard
like the
to
thing
find.
do. Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
It was at every store back in the day. Let me get some Annihilators. I miss the days where we had to ask for it individually. Can I get an Annihilator?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boston baked beans. You had to point it out like
they
an ice
kept it
cream
behind
truck.
Right.
You could just grab and put. You had
Right.
to be like,
And the guy
'Cause they
behind
had
the
it
counter
behind
be
the
like,
counter.
Yeah.
And the guy behind the counter be like, "What else you want?"
Yeah.
You sit there, let me see if you got.
Yeah.
Be like, man,
Taking our time.
Right.
We would do it every day after
You done
school.
spent the whole $1.
yeah.
Right.
We went in there with the
Man.
70. If I had 75 cents,
Man.
Oh, you can't tell me nothing.
Because it was like 5 cents here, 10. Like
Yep.
even like like some people don't like licorice, but when they had the sour licorice, I would get the green apple one.
Fire.
It was 5 cents. It was 5 cents.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be like, yeah, let me get 2 of those. Let me get because we went when we lived at Fountain Plaza and we walked.
Oh yeah. Right.
Why were we walking home? By the way, we were 6.
I was working.
but it'd be like a group of us walking home.
6 years old, that's a good time to walk when
We
you're
would walk
through
home
the streets.
and
Matter of fact, that's I was driving home because I would take my lunch as they was getting out of school to make sure they get in. And I'm driving up the thing. They cut across the street. Keefe is on the other side, and just darts. Cars
I remember
everywhere.
that.
Oh my God! So I'm pissed.
But I got in trouble.
Yeah, because I'm like, how you gonna dart across the street and leave your brother on the other side of the street? And of course, all he sees is them break. So he just runs in the middle, and all I just see is, oh my God. I just know he's gonna get hit. Man, I was like, man, are
I
you
got in
out
so
of
much trouble. But that's like, and that's why like I am the way when you're the oldest, you're responsible for like everything.
right.
Like so, it's just like that's why I'm still like that with them now.
When
Like-
you're the oldest, you learn what not to do after you've done it.
Right.
Then you get to send it down the line.
But he was like, we were like, we're gonna go, and him being him was just like, and I'm like, we're gonna go, and he didn't go, and then he almost got hit, and then but from that day on, I'd be like, come on, let's go, like,
Yeah.
and I do that with Kendrick and I'm like, Keelan, make sure your brother blah at the park, go get your brother blah, like he's I'm always having him do stuff. I'm like, you're the oldest, that's
That's the job.
this is what comes with the territory,
Yeah.
bro. Like
It's
you
the
gotta,
responsibility of the oldest, to do everything, and it might seem unfair, but it's like you was born first. So you get all the responsibilities,
Because you get
Make-
perks too.
yeah,
Right.
facts.
Right.
You get perks.
Definitely, and that's why to this day I cook
Can't
better
relate
than
to
them.
this combo.
Me neither.
Because you're the baby,
Yeah,
right?
I'm-
Yeah, I
youngest.
cook better than them because I was always they were at work. I was like, all right, what we eating, guys?
You the only one can touch the stove.
Yeah, so I was cooking
Yeah.
early, and I was making them food, and I was like, all right, what are we doing?
And I think like soon as I felt like he was old enough, I'm like, I'm out. 'Cause
Yeah.
you got this. You know what I mean?
You
It's like,
good?
Yeah, they
you
start
good.
going on dates and stuff. We was
Yeah,
like,
it's
all
like,
right.
hey man, you got him. You got him. So
I'm smoking a cigarette. I'm 8. I'm like, all right, kids, go clean your rooms. Got to pay. I'm paying the bills.
Your dad come
Like,
in late.
boy,
Where you been?
right.
Where you
Wild
been at?
night, huh?
Y'all have fun.
Got a robe on.
And I come in, first thing I do is I go to him. Everybody got tucked in. They're eating what? Yeah, they all brush their teeth. They did. I'm asking him like, he did,
I'm 16 months older than Keith. I'm not even like
Man.
that much older.
and I would give him all
Like
the-
Kyron was way behind us.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We actually watched him. Like he was 7 when I was 14, 15, so he's like way behind. So, but Keith, he's the same age as me.
Right.
But it was like, to me, it was like, nah, I know Keefe. You know, I
He
ain't
wasn't
giving
gonna
him
get
no
anything done.
responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
You get the responsibility of doing this and doing that. And but like I said, it came with the territory.
Right.
You know, and because I thought I put some, even though there was just a very small gap, he got everything. You know, I mean, I'm giving it to him. You know, so by the time it was time for him to take over and do certain things, it was him. Make sure everybody do. As I'm closing the door, you know, I'm on my way to work. Make sure everybody does on. So, okay, got it, Dad. Boom, click. That was it. And when I got home, everything got to get done. If it don't, I'm on him.
Right.
Even though if the other two didn't do it, you were responsible.
You
to
was,
make sure it was
yeah.
done.
Did you,
You know.
Did you abuse your power? I know when I was younger, Marlon, I'd be outside playing with Marlon. He'll be like, we're playing tag, and he'll be like, stop. Listen to me. I'm your uncle. And I'm like,
You guys are
what?
like
He'll
a
be
year
like,
apart, right?
Tag, you're in. I'm like, no. Did you abuse your power?
No, Keith did. When Keith was watching Kyron and my cousin, who lives with us at the time, Keith was on a big power trip. He'd be like, every day I came home, they're on punishment. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? 'Cause I had practice, and I would come home for practice, and they would come, Keith told us to go in our room. He locked us in our room. He was always on power trips, and that's when Kyron tried to stab him because he was like, I'm tired of you. So he told him to do something, and Kyron grabbed the knife and was like, let's see what we're going to do now. And he chased him in the bathroom, and Keith locked the door because Keith's in the bathroom when I get home, and I'm like, what happened? And Kyron's on the knife like, you think it's a game? Like, trying to stab him. I'm like, but nah, I was chill. I was always trying to tell Keith, like, if you don't want to get in trouble, just do it now. Because Keith was always about, like, let's play or let's do this. And I'm like, Mom's going to be home in 30 minutes. You haven't done any of your chores. Like, just knock them out and be done with them, and then you can go do whatever you want. And he'd be like, all right. And he'd keep playing. Then he hear that garage and try to hurry up and do everything. And I'm like,
Scramble.
yeah, I told you to do this when we first got home. So I would just be like, all right, do what you want to do.
I can't relate.
Yeah.
Can't relate to none of this, man.
I'm the oldest.
I always felt like I was on my own a lot of times because of the age gap. I'm not sure what your gap is, which is
Sisters, I think all 4 apart. So my older
4 years
sister,
apart of each.
I'm 39, so my older sister's 43, 42,
okay.
and youngest is 40.
Oh, you're the baby?
So y'all
the
kind of
baby.
close.
I'm the baby of our tribe,
Oh,
my
okay.
dad and my mom.
Okay.
My mom had another kid later on, so he's like 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of close, but it still feel hella far though. Like it feel like my older sister is older than me, and really
Yeah.
I'm catching them like a mud. But the way she treat me, it's like I'm
Yeah.
baby brother still, like regardless. So
Because my brother's 10 years apart.
That's
my
a lot.
oldest. That's a big
that's a
gap.
gap.
So it was like, when he 18, I'm 10. So 18, that's prime going out real estate.
Right.
And he would take my other brother with him. They would go hang out together. So I'm just like, and I always went to my own school. It was just, I never had.
You did a lot of playing by yourself.
Yeah.
You
like,
got extra
and I liked
snacks.
it too. Like,
Yeah.
I would play with Scott every now and then I wouldn't like his rules and I would get mad because I had a temper growing up. I was like, I would just play, so I'd be playing. Or if they would mess with me while I'm playing by myself, I would get mad, throw the truck at them
Yeah.
or whatever. And then I had my own set of friends or whatever, and then it just became, I just got used to doing my own thing outside of my older brothers.
Right.
And then when I would hang with them, I felt young. Like I felt like
Can't relate.
I felt like I was just getting drug along. Like I felt it. Like, man, I'm just, I'm here, but I know how old I am.
Yeah.
When we go to the video store, I'm looking at the cartoons.
Yeah.
They trying to get some gritty
Yeah.
movies. You know what I'm saying? I remember we went to, my brother was dating who became his future first wife, but they was dating at the time. We went over there so we could go to the video store. Like, all right, we're going to get some movie. I was like, man, let's get Transformers the movie, the cartoon movie.
They was like,
man,
what?
look out, man. We trying to there's girls over, you know what I'm saying? Man, forget all that, man. Forget girls, man. Transformers the movie, man. Come on, just please. I've been waiting on it.
Did you ever look out for them and cover for them though?
I don't really feel like nothing stands out on having to.
Because I remember when Kyron, like I said, he was behind us, but when we got older, like 16, 17, and the rule was, no girls in the house, we was like, hey.
Oh, I never told.
Yeah, so we would be like, Kyron, look.
No
Yeah.
snitch. I ain't no
Oh, I
snitch.
never
You can't
snitched.
tell, bro. Like,
Yeah.
this is happening, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And even when we tried to sneak it, he was so cool. He was a cool little brother. Like, one time Keith tried to sneak a girl in. Well, he did, and then, she left. But Kyron comes in his room like, he must have been like 8. He was like, so, are we supposed to have people over?
Yeah.
And he was like, what are you talking about? He was like, I know she was here. He was like, no, she wasn't. He was like, oh, yeah? then whose earring is this? Like, I was like, why did you have it? She left it, and he got it. He's like, plus I saw her running down the driveway. And so he was always seeing stuff. Like, I snuck a girl out on the stairs one time. I told Keith, like, take him, go so I can sneak her out. And he's like, so, who's that running down the stairs? Like, I was like, how did you see that? But he never said nothing. He never said a word.
Yeah.
But he always saw it. And we'd be like, after a while, we would just tell him, like, all right, we're going to do this. And we'll buy you some candy or something. Like, just keep your mouth shut. He never told.
Yeah,
Never
I definitely
ratted.
kept my mouth shut.
Stood tall.
He did. He never
Yeah.
told. Never mentioned it.
Even if I was crying, my mom would be like, what's going on in there? I'd just be, what happened? All right. Nothing happened? I would just cool down on my own steam.
He never told.
But yeah.
Y'all gonna have me checking my kids' room for snacks, extra snacks. Like, hold on, you got all these snacks. Your older brother's up to
He
something.
was always getting, all right, I'll let you come with us to this. But as far as the hangout, he had my best friends, they had little brothers the same age. So it was like 2 different crews of the same family. So he would just play with all their little siblings and we would do it. So it never felt like I want to tag along with you guys because he's like, I got my own squad. Like, you guys go do, whatever you want.
As long as you hook me up with a movie I want to see.
I'm good. You good.
That was the only time I
Right.
tripped. Like, yo, can we watch The Jungle Book? And they were like, nah, man, look out. That was the only time I flexed the baby muscles when we were going to the movies. They wanted to see Never Ending Story. And I thought it was going to be scary.
Nah, that's a great.
So I wanted no parts of it. I was like, no, man, can we watch The Jungle Book? And he was like, hey, man. My brothers was hot. They was like, no, man, Never Ending Story. Man, I want to see The Jungle Book, man. I made a big old scene at the movie theater and we watched The Jungle Book. And I was like, yeah, I flexed that baby.
Also, the girls,
Jungle Book was better, though. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jungle Book was better
the
than
girls
Never
always agree with the baby. If you're like 18, 19, you have girls out and your 10-year-old brother. He's like, no, I want to see Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Girls like, yeah, that's so sweet.
And that's
I
what
love
worked with
Jungle
Transformers the movie on that rental. Because they got like Angel Heart and some other stuff I wasn't into. And I was like, man, Transformers the movie.
Yeah, because you going to end up kicking it by yourself anyway. You might as well be
Yeah.
watching
Right,
what
we'll
you want to
At
watch.
the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's just
Right.
busy work, so we can go sneak
Yeah.
off and do whatever.
It's
so.
Angel Heart.
And the
that
cold
Lisa
part
Bonet
is they
movie.
watched it with me. I was like, why y'all still in here? I almost cried when Optimus Prime died. I had to fight the tears. And there was girls in there. I was like, man, my eyes. And
Girls will keep you from crying.
Man.
I didn't cry in Hardball because we saw it with girls.
Oh, that movie,
Wait,
man.
Was Angel Heart with Lisa Bonet
Yes.
when she was first
that was the
naked?
one Bill Cosby had issue with her doing. 'cause
and she was
oh,
naked in it,
yeah.
and you ruined that for them
But
guys.
they still got it,
Oh,
but
okay.
I didn't want to see it. Like I wasn't even at that age. I didn't even realize the beauty of Lisa Bonet.
Right.
I was
naked,
just like,
though. I had
you
to
know.
think about. Wait, she was
and I thought it was
naked
gonna be
in that.
scary. I was like, man, I want no parts.
me get eyes
Robert De
on
Niro's
this.
the devil. Nah, man, look out. But Transformers, the cartoon movie, I wanted every piece of
I'm
that,
not mad at this at all.
and I missed it in theaters. Yeah, so. But yeah, that was the movie.
I had to see what that sacrifice was. I was like, that's Angel. That's Lisa Bonet. I
Lisa
remember
Bonet,
everybody was
yeah.
like, yo, Lisa Bonet was naked in there. I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Angel Heart.
Yeah,
That
Cosby
I
didn't
think
see
it was such a difference because all you saw her was in the Cosby.
The Cosby
right.
Show,
She went
yeah.
to college.
It was a
She
big
a-
contrast.
Oh, yeah.
That movie was dark.
And then when she did it, everybody's like, huh?
Yeah.
You know, I remember that. And it
Yeah.
was like, wow, that's you're going way to the left.
Yeah.
You was always the the Cosby Show, the Huxtable.
Everybody was clean
Everybody was-
on that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't be doing nothing. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, back then, people didn't know that you're not who you are. Like, they only could see you as your character.
Yeah.
But now we got social media. You see people.
You see who they truly
who they
are.
all day. Like,
She wanted to stretch.
Right.
She probably wanted to stretch. Like, yo, let me be artistic over
A
here.
lot of people go far left. Like the girl from Saved by the Bell went. And
oh,
did
she did that. But that movie
Oh,
was
she
terrible.
did show. That was a
Showgirl.
terrible.
That movie was
was
awful.
It was a
trash.
stretch.
It was an awful
It was a
movie.
switch though from
It was.
what was
Super
her name? To
switch.
say about that?
Jessica Spano.
Y'all didn't like the pool dance scene.
Yeah, that movie was terrible.
Wasn't she in what was that Coyote Ugly too? The one that was
I don't think she
I don't
was
think
in
so.
that. She was
Saved by the
definitely in
Bell.
something else.
oh.
I don't know if she was in
DC.
Coyote Ugly.
Stand
No,
by it.
I'm not standing on this one.
I don't know if she was in that or not.
But that movie, I remember
think
seeing
so.
it. Everybody was like, Jesse is naked. And I was like, oh.
The movie was trash.
It was
though.
so trash. And then I saw her nigga. I was like,
OG Killer
could've
Bobby
passed.
Johnson
OG Bobby
dancing
Johnson.
ballet.
Yeah,
Come
that little
on.
scene. I was like, they took it there. That
Yeah.
little scene.
Yeah, some people they get tired of being confined and
Right.
typecast.
Yeah.
I'm not this goody two.
I'm not mad at
What's her
Lisa
name's
Bonet's
doing that
choice.
now?
Who?
And then she made a video like the sisters,
Chloe- is it
Chloe
Chloe?
and Haley or whatever. You know,
Oh
the,
yeah,
the thick one. She was making everybody like, oh Jesus, you know. And then she made another video talking about I didn't know that people even looked at me like that. I'm like, I understand it's very hard to grow up in front of people,
Right.
but to say you didn't know you had that ass is just ridiculous.
Right.
Like you knew that,
We
and
seen
you knew
Miley
what you were
Cyrus
doing.
do it.
Right?
Yeah.
They all just,
they all
They
just.
just wild out.
This is me.
Yeah.
It's hard to grow up in front of everybody.
Yeah, that's
like,
that's a pressure. I
Yeah.
never wanted any
Orlando
parts
from
of.
That's So
Right.
Raven.
Oh yeah.
They just.
I
The
remember,
girls usually go
who's
nudity,
this
and the
guy?
dudes go drugs or thugs.
Yeah.
Like
Todd Bridges. You know,
Todd
He was,
Bridges.
yep.
and then he went south with the drugs and everything. I was
Yeah.
like, how did you? Because all you see is, you know, who he was on TV.
Right.
You know, you don't realize he's really a guy, you know, just going through everything like everybody else. But when I remember he got busted, it was like, man. You on TV doing all that, man, it's pressure.
You
Yeah.
also, you also
Like,
don't
man.
realize he's 14 in a club somewhere with
Right.
bottles
Right.
and
Right.
grown women.
The opportunities thrown his way
Right.
because he's famous.
Right.
Let me just try this cocaine. Everybody doing it in the 80s.
I think they had a picture of Drew Barrymore. She was drunk when she
oh,
was
she
like,
talked about her childhood.
Yeah.
She used to
she
be drunk
was-
at like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was-
Adult
she did-
parties.
Yep.
Man, because she was who she was and who her daddy was.
Yep.
So she hanging out with all these grown folks and she doing the same thing. So she almost the same thing with what's the boy Iron Man.
Robert Downey.
Robert
He
Downey.
almost man.
Oh yeah,
Man.
his dad had him into some wildness early,
Right.
so you get it. It's like when they rebound, I'll be like, "Yes, I'm glad you made it through."
That,
Right.
that
Drew
comeback
made
is
it
crucial.
back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Robert Downey made it back.
Right.
So it was like,
so when I
good.
see him, and I'm like, people just see him, especially if you're younger, you only see him as the Iron Man.
Yeah.
But way back when,
Yeah.
man, he was coming up. Next thing you know, he fell out and just
Yep.
started doing every kind of drug there was. But then you see him bounce back to become Iron Man. I'm like, whoo,
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen, some of these cats, man, they,
Yeah.
man, especially when you got folks or you been in or your parents are in
When
it.
that's your upbringing.
That's your upbringing, man. You out there partying,
Right.
Yep.
You know,
seeing some real images at a
Right,
young
man.
age.
And then some of them don't. The parents not necessarily there because they get emancipated at 16. They could be legal adults, so they're like, "Well, I got the money. I'm a legal adult."
Right.
Yeah.
What's his name? Did that little short guy? Same show we just talking about. What you talking
Arnold.
about, Willis?
Oh,
Arnold.
Gary
Yeah.
Cole.
Yeah,
Gary
he
Coleman.
was like, man, my parents taking all my money, blah blah. And I'm doing
Yeah.
I want you. So he did the same thing. It's like, now I want my own stuff.
Right.
You know?
Now they got the laws against that. Like,
Yeah, now it's just, they're protected more.
yeah,
They
like
should
my,
be.
My kids, I can't even. They have to have their own account. Like when we
Keegan-
go
a Keegan
for,
account?
yeah, the kids they have to do their own thing. I can't. It's like this is their money.
They give you a
know what I mean?
percentage.
You
to
get your
live.
percentage, but they get their money, their own account. You have to set all that up before you even because I have their work permits, I
Right.
have all that stuff, and they're under my agency. But they, as far as money, they was like, you got to set up this account before we can do anything.
That's
I'm
dope.
Like, I was like, I like that.
But
Yeah.
and I think it should be because again, you got kids that will work their whole they youth. And then get 16, 17, 18 years old, and mommy and daddy then retire from working. You
Yep.
know, they took their money.
Yep.
You know, and
Yeah.
then by the time they ready to spend and have fun, it's like, well, money gone.
Yep.
You know,
That's what happened to
I
Macaulay.
understand some of the
Culkin.
parents.
Pops
some
was
of the
all up in
parents
it.
was like, well, I was paying for the house, your
Auditions
private
and-
school,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that we was paying for that, not with our money. I had to go to your auditions, sit on set all day with you.
And I be watching that. I be seeing when I go on auditions and I'm going in for like a dad thing or whatever. I hear the kids talk about their days or whatever, and the parents, and they're like, "We had to run here. The parents be looking
Oh yeah.
exhausted.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Again, even with him with sports growing up, I got 1 month off. I think it was like August because he played every sport. So it was pull an 8-hour day, come home, get him, shoot him to practice, then go to the next practice. So I think at the same time basketball, football.
Well, everything overlapped. So
Right.
I'm changing from baseball clothes into basketball clothes in the car to hit the next practice.
You're describing
And
my
then-
days and my weekends
Yeah.
right now.
Man.
Man, I feel for you there.
Where he'd get out the car and run in with the wrong jersey and be like,
Yeah.
"No, wrong jersey, Dad." Like, yeah, right.
What's crazy is I'm thinking back, like, how did we have the energy to do
Wait,
that?
who? You or me?
Both.
Oh, well, you was young.
Yeah, you young.
But I'm just
You-
saying, like, you just
You was asleep in the car while
you
he was
ain't that-
driving.
Right.
you play and then you go. But I did when it was overlap time. I do remember, like after I would crash really hard.
Right.
Like after school, double practices and dinner, like I would sleep.
And then I still had to
Super
do
hard.
homework.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
like, but then by the time I laid my head down, I'm done.
Yeah.
And that's just him. Then I still got to come home and get the other two, attention.
Right.
Right.
And I would be like, that's why people say, when I go to sleep, man, I can go. I'd be like, got anything else to say? Like, nah. I'm done.
Got
And
anything
I
else
think
to
that
say?
started from way back when because it was
Yeah.
like I get up at the crack of bud, do my own thing, work, fight traffic, get home, and he's sitting there waiting. You know,
Yeah.
like, soon as I'm, get in, we're out,
Yeah.
and I'm coaching. You know, so I got
man.
Yeah,
the whole shebang.
Oh, have mercy.
He
You was
coached.
Whole
Jamaican.
shebang.
He coached till I was like
all the way to high school.
7th grade, yeah, 8th grade.
Dang.
Oh, he kept you on the floor.
Yeah, always.
I
Yeah.
played all the sports. Well, he was like a neighborhood dad too. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
like
Bruh.
all the kids knew him. All the kids.
I'd
like,
be in
"Where's
the
your
house doing whatever. Ding dong. Open the door and it's like 6, 7 kids. Can you come out and play? Like, me? You know, and then it's like I'm the all-time football quarterback. And then if I threw a bad pass on the other team, you just did that because Keon's on. So
You did sometimes.
The all quarterback.
I felt like he was always trying to play me.
Because you didn't want to hear him. That car ride home after your kid has a bad game.
No, man, no.
or a bad-
This is just right outside the house. We didn't have to go nowhere. I mean, they didn't ring my. I'm in the street.
Yeah,
You know?
like thinking back, like we used to bother Steve. We had a neighbor of like looking back, Steve was probably some 20-year-old guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, living with his girl, and we would go ring his door. We're like, Steve, we need another quarterback. And his girl would answer the door sometimes and be like, Steve, the kids are here. And I didn't think about it till like
That's funny.
earlier this year. We
He'd
were
come out
knocking on
sweaty.
the adult man. He'd be with his girl, and we'd be like, you gotta come play, dog.
Into it because he would be on one side, I'm quarterback.
And
another
Steve
team.
sucked.
Yeah, he was.
But we need another quarterback. He was awful.
Steve was the
passes
distance
out
messenger.
there.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Throwing terrible passes.
He'd be like,
Every play's a running
man, but those are the things that when I look back on, it's fun times.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I mean, when you become like the kid, it keeps you right there. You know.
Yeah.
What I mean? And like I said, for me, I played with him all the way. When's the last time he beat me? Well, the only time he beat me was
Let him. I like that.
Yeah,
hit
let
him
him.
with- yeah.
I think he had pulled up. He had practice.
Yeah,
And
it
he
was
had
after practice.
He was after practice. I'm like, he's got to be gassed. You know what I'm saying? I probably take advantage of it right now. So I think it was kind of. That's why I always laugh at that movie. What's the one with Jesus Shuttlesworth? Remember how
He got game.
Remember how he started off and running around because he made a bucket or two? At the end of the thing, it was just all bad. So I think it was like 4-4. I'm already grabbing for the trunks. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm pretty tired.
The bad checkbacks.
Right. So if I go,
He didn't get the ball again.
Yeah.
if I get up on him, he's gonna drive right by me. And if I lay off him, he's gonna just hit the jumper. So it was like 4-4, and I'm gassed. And then it was just like bam, bam, bam. Final score was like enough for, and he didn't say anything.
Ooh.
Because first of all, I'm glad he didn't. Because me being the competitive person I was, I probably didn't walk home. But he won. He wins. He gets his stuff, and he doesn't say anything like "let's go" or anything like that. I'm just sitting there thinking the torch is passed.
Yeah.
And because we're not even talking about like a close game. It's like over.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to play him again. Kind of thing. And
But I didn't say anything because my teammates were there, for one.
Oh,
and
they were
two,
there to watch it?
It wasn't like there was nothing. What are they gonna say? Oh, you beat your dad. Like, who cares?
Right.
Like, it wasn't. We were in high school at this point.
Yeah.
Like, we know how to play. We're supposed to beat. Like, it wasn't.
If you're playing varsity, you should be.
Well, I wasn't on varsity yet, but I was just like, it wasn't.
You lost to someone on JV?
But it wasn't like a bragging.
no.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, it was like I already knew. I was like, I know I'm better than you. Like, it was not. This was your thing. Like, I knew already. This is an awakening for you.
You had to figure this out.
Yeah,
And I only played him because I really thought he was going to be gassed. I really thought I needed an advantage. And I'm like, okay, he just ran all these laps in practice. Now he's got to be a little tired. I'll take him now.
Yeah.
At 14, 15, you can
You're
play all
dunking,
day.
you're dunking after,
Play all
after
day.
practice.
Yeah. That's when you practice. You're dunking
Yeah.
after practice.
It was bad. It was bad. And we never played again. But the funny thing is, I guess, for me being compared, I never let him win no matter what. Video games, you got to earn it.
Right.
You gotta earn it.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
believe in, like when they little and they cry, you can do it. But when they got older,
Uh-huh.
you can talk a little bit of trash.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like, I'm killing you, man. I'm killing you, man. I'm giving you the feeling.
Yeah.
But when you lose, from a father's perspective, actually anybody, it stings.
Yeah.
It's like you dominated. I mean, because you got to figure I've been playing with him since he could walk. I'm up 1,000 to 1.
Right. He
Right.
was
But
trying to
it's the-
say that, but it wouldn't
but
even
it's the
bother
one.
me.
It's
I'm
the
like, you're supposed to
one-
be the
it's the
7-year-old.
last thing
That
you do
one loss.
is the one loss that makes up for all. Because all he kept saying was, "All you gonna do is
Back me down. What was he gonna say? All you
Yeah.
gonna do is back me down.
Hit me with elbows.
If I couldn't hit my jumper, I'm giving it
Oh,
to
that's
him.
the go-to.
I'm just giving it to him.
Punish
I
him.
would do it as long as I was making a bucket or two.
Yeah.
But if I started struggling with my shot, I'm just gonna bam, bam, layup, bam, bam, layup. And he would always say that. But then as he got older, the bam started becoming replaced with his own.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's getting there. But I'm like, let me back up a little bit. So he's like, you want to play a little one-on-one? Nah, I just got home from work. I already knew. I'm like, I'm not gonna go out here so you can be.
I just got home from work. You was off today because he just got home from work before you woke
he
up.
wanted it because you got to figure,
You've
all
been
his
beating
life,
him his whole life.
Right.
He
all
like,
his whole life.
So once I knew, I was like, come on.
And I would be like, nah, man. So that one day I thought, I'm looking at him, I'm like, oh, he got to be tired. Man.
That's right.
And it got ugly fast.
You should have never did that.
I should have
Yeah,
stayed
you
out
should
on
just
top.
let him just.
undefeated forever.
You could have been undefeated.
That happened
Right.
with me recently. I was playing video games. I was playing 2K with my son. And I was like, he was beating me. I was like, yeah, you don't want to get on the real court. He's like, yeah, let's go.
Oh.
Cut the shit off. And I was like,
Hey, he cut the
nah.
he cut the console off.
We got
I've been
somewhere to
waiting
go
for
in
this.
Yeah.
15
'Cause
We
he
didn't
knows.
even finish the game. We didn't finish the game. We
And
gotta
his
finish
his
the
son
game.
is
You start
6'7".
turning the game
He's
back
not
on.
gonna-
That was funny. He
goes off.
turned
He's like,
everything.
oh, yeah,
I've been
let's
waiting
go.
for
Yeah.
this. Say
He's
no.
definitely waiting.
He vacuumed.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, yeah,
He
man.
did.
He ain't beat you
And he's
yet?
gonna
You
try to
ain't played him
dunk
yet?
on you.
We ain't
He's
played in
definitely
the
gonna try to
last.
dunk
I told him I'm getting in better shape right now.
Yeah.
I dropped a couple pounds. Been doing the jump box. He got the business coming to him.
Greg wanted those
It's
smokes.
really a passage that every father wants to give, but your pride as a father don't want to.
You don't
Yeah.
want to.
You want to say, I put the ball in your court, in the crease. You're supposed to do what you're
Right.
doing.
Yeah.
But when this happens, it's like, but nah, man, nah. You don't really want to. I
wanna
remember
pass it.
when we was at the church, that league, and y'all came up, you,
Yeah.
Jason, everybody. So I had my crew. I'm probably 30, 20 years older than you, so I'm probably like
He was
36.
like 35. yeah.
35, 35, 36.
But
So
we had
I-
a kid. I was on JV at the time, but our starting point guard
who went on to USF.
he went to USF, and
So he was
whatever.
nice.
He was cold, and he would have been to a bigger school. It's just
Yeah.
Bay Area.
But
yeah.
Jason was nasty. And I was like, there's no way your friends you old men, I'm thinking 35 is old. I was like, there's no way you guys can check him. Like,
and
there's
we
impossible.
couldn't.
They
But
couldn't.
what we did was
Beat the hell out of him because there was no fouls. That's what happened.
Right.
we when you get older, you learn how to play the
To
game
foul.
without actually having to play as hard.
Right.
Like I can sit there and say, "Get mine." If I'm lagging, get mine. I got yours. We learn how to talk. So every time he would beat one of us, somebody else would come up and get him. We was just like 5-on-1. He get past one, he got to go with two. He get past two, he got to be. We beat him though.
Here goes Anthony Mason.
But we had been talking for. I was like, you guys are too old. You can't beat us. And they won. But I was smart enough to know even at that time, like he couldn't get in my head as far as we won because I was like, you guys won because there were no referees to foul you out. All 5 of them would have fouled out. Like every other play, he was on the ground or they just kept hitting him. And I'm like, this is not even basketball
This
anymore.
grown man stuff. This grown man
So
stuff.
they couldn't do nothing with him. He was shot, and they was.
Oh, it was ugly.
And I'm like,
he was
this
so
is-
fast and his handles were so good.
Yeah.
You
But even
say-
he started to get mad. Like you guys aren't playing basketball. You're just
because
hitting
it's
me.
like if I get by you, it's a bear hug.
Right.
You guys
know,
don't even.
It's not
like
even
he didn't
like
want.
a-
We didn't want to play no more. We're like you guys. So even in our minds, even though they won, we know you can't play with us. You're
Well,
just
it came to
holding
the
us.
point where you're going to shoot jumpers because I can't hold you because you're too fast. So you can shoot jumpers all day, but you're not just going to be going breaking my ankles, make me look stupid. Because you get by me, somebody else going to give you this.
Right.
So we
They,
ended up
they
beating
fouled
them.
the whole game.
And yeah, we did, but we had to let them know. We had to let them know.
But we were like, what did y'all prove? That
We
you can foul
proved that
better.
we could play like the Pistons. And,
I think I need to
learn-
give my son that moment because I think it's beautiful because your whole life you've known what his weaknesses were on the court every single game, and you've always been on him about fixing them. So then
Correct,
that game
correct.
when you're playing him to his weakness and that's no longer a weakness, it's like,
Right.
yeah.
okay,
All right.
I remember
You
we got
learn.
together and all of us got together and was like, hey, man, like basically no matter what, they're not going to win. We all can still kind of play a little bit still.
Yeah,
but
'cause
they
some
were
of them
better
still
than
good.
us.
Yeah.
I
you know
just
what
like
mean?
seeing y'all after work meeting together to
Right.
talk about these kids.
No, they
we
played
were-
every Tuesday. It was every
Every
Tuesday night.
Tuesday. And we
But
brought
I
him
would
out.
just go because it was adults, and I was like, I'm just gonna go play because
I would always want him to play. I always wanted him to play better competition because I always felt like you're never going to get good playing lesser or even the same type players. I always wanted him to play bigger people, older people, whatever. But it made him better. So by the time he got to Ron, I remember I had one guy who was on my team. Of course, this is my son and my partner's son. I took him like, man, you can't even hold Ramon. And he was like, psh. And so Ramon's dad was like, man, you can't hold Keon. So we're both pumping each other's son up to make it seem like, man, you get him, and get him, and he's like, mommy. And from baseball, the whole thing, that was like his, you know, his competition
Rival.
thing. Yeah, right. You know, and his dad would be like, Keon is so much better than you. And Ramon would be like, and I'm like, man, don't listen to him, man. You know, your game is tight. Blah, blah, blah. And it was just to get him to where they would be so competitive that I was comfortable with him being on the court. I wouldn't even let him talk to, like, Jason Gaines was, what, a year older than you two? 1 year?
He had me by 2 years.
2 years. But he was like the man. And so when he would play, he would be talking to him. And I said, come here, man. Ain't nobody your friend out here. You friends after you finish playing. When you playing right now, it's kill or be killed. You know, because that's how I grew up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm that dad on the sideline. Stop smiling.
Right.
Yeah.
I would play that, man. You know, I remember when me and my brother and Keefe was at that park.
Oh, yeah.
And my Keefe was not the sports guy, and he was. So he's stealing the ball and making layups and everything. So it's me and Keefe against my brother and him. And he's just killing. I'm like, give your brother a chance, you know. And he's just like, every time I put the ball in for steal. So once he goes up for a layup, I give it to him. Boom! He goes flying all across the thing.
Mind you, I'm like 8.
Right. Then you got to learn.
Yeah,
You know?
like 8.
So I give it to him, and he falls over, and we're on concrete, so he scrapes up his arm and everything. And of course, the first thing, because I'm thinking about my little dude, because he's crying because he can't get a shot off because he's killing me. And my brother couldn't beat me, so it's like I can do to my brother what he's doing to him. So that's why we try to make the teams even. But he's killing his little brother, and I'm like, come on, man, I ain't gonna do that bad. So anyway, I knock him over. He's crying. I'm like, get your little punk butt up. Look, I'm mad. Then my brother's like, you don't do him like that. I'm like, man, I'll take. So we're out on the court, like, I'll take all y'all. You know? And I whoop him. I whoop, you know. And it was. But I always wanted him to not to be able to handle whatever he played with. You know,
Right.
I never wanted him to be, you know, taking, like, I could take advantage of this kid, or if he plays somebody less, and I don't play him, play him. You know, play somebody that I know you're going to have to work. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like it got him where he was, because I'm ultra competitive. I don't care, but that long, I ain't got the time for this, but my brother was ridiculous. My brother was ridiculous.
He older or younger?
My older brother.
Okay.
My older brother.
Yeah.
They was like, it's legit fire.
Hello Fresh, man.
And
Because
then-
everybody always complain about, you know, not having the time to cook, shop,
Right.
and, you know, the meals come in, you be like, yeah. And they healthy?
Convenient.
Right.
as
Well,
heck.
you pick what you want. You can get the family, you can get healthy, you can get vegetarian, you did vegetarian.
Yeah. I wonder if it's vegan, though.
I always ask the same
don't
question. How's the seasoning on it?
Oh,
You can like play, because they'll put like, just put salt and pepper. Like that's the go-to. You know what I mean? Put salt and pepper. But like my auntie got it, my cousin got it, my mama got it, I got it. Like, cause and they just deliver it at your door. It's just like, the doorbell ring, it's come in the box. You got to be careful though, because a lot of people toss the box, but the meat and stuff be at the bottom under the ice.
Oh.
So people toss the box and be like, I ain't getting no shrimp. And it's like, well, you didn't check the
Threw
whole
it
box.
away.
Wait, how many people can it feed?
If you get the family, it's supposed to feed like 4. And you can get like my mom only gets, it's just her and her husband, so she gets the the 2.
But what's the
And
portion?
you can get a single too. The portions is big. Like I'd be.
So is the 2 portions one for you?
For me, it depends on what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
If I'm supposed to eat like I'm supposed to be, it'd be 4.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd be like, can be the second plate. So it all depends. Like if the kids don't eat theirs, I'm like, well, this is just for us.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But it'd be good though. And it's what it does, I guess, is like it takes away time is money.
Right.
So what it does, instead of thinking about what do I want tonight, it's just this is what you're eating.
Right.
And then instead of what do I need from the store, it's just like here.
Right.
So it just takes
You
away.
don't have to piece anything
Right.
together. You don't have to grab noodles
Right.
and then
Yeah.
steak.
Then,
and
I
then
forgot.
Yeah.
You got to go run it. I
Right.
hate running to the store in mid-meal prep.
It's the
Oh,
worst.
we ain't got no more. Nah.
And we don't live in the days of you can just go to your neighbor anymore. I don't know my neighbors. I'm
Man.
like, can I borrow an egg? Get out of here.
Yeah.
You pervert.
Yeah, like, one egg.
I just needed some sugar. Right. Slam the door in your face.
So it definitely takes away all. I mean, it's just like it's like having a stylist for your food. If
Yeah.
we didn't have to pick out clothes,
Oh,
it would take so much time away from the day. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's what it does, man.
That's dope.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, a
I
lot of
actually-
times
and it'd
I
be
fall
good.
to the junk food. I guess that's a way better alternative.
Mm-hmm. That junk food be there for you.
Right. Somebody be like, well, I'll just
Come
eat
right
cereal.
here. They got on the dope outfit, but they missing teeth. One eye is red.
But you
I'm
be
right
hungry.
here.
You be like, all right. Hot Cheetos it is.
Come on,
For
man.
dinner, right?
It's just me and you, man. Come on.
No, I
man.
really recommend it, man. It's good. And if you guys want to try it, you go to HelloFresh.com/issues10. use our code issues10 for 10 free meals.
Ooh.
10 free
10
meals?
free?
For the
Like,
free?
that's 10.
Oh,
Come
I
on,
use
man.
that.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know how much money saved that is?
That's a lot.
Ah.
10 free meals, including free shipping.
What?
So use
That's
the
where they
promo
usually
code.
get you.
Right. The
Yeah,
shipping.
the shipping is like $87. But here's free.
Free.
That's dope.
Issues 10, not just issues, okay? It's / use the code issues 10 for 10 free meals, including free shipping. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. It's #1 meal kit right now, too.
Oh, wow.
One quick story.
Uh-huh.
We're at the elementary school. Me and him. Just me and my older brother. He wants to play full court. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Outside.
Y'all had all day.
Outside.
So
One-on-one full
I'm
court?
One full quarter is
One-on-one
wild,
full
man.
So you only can go up and down the court maybe 2 or 3 times for your gas.
Right.
You know, I'm like probably 2nd grade. I'm a little dude. And because I was Walt Frazier, he was Jerry West. Because he liked the Lakers. I hated the Lakers. Anyway, so I'm tired. Bruh, I go to sit down on the bench. My brother stands in front of me, starts going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And turnover. Get the ball, lay it up. I'm like, I'm not going to come off the bench. 1, 2. And so the final score was like 70 to like 8, you know. And for him, he was okay with that.
Yeah.
And so every single thing we did, he had to either be the best at it, cheat at it. And so when I finally got to the point where I could beat him and everything, it was the greatest joy. So that's where when people talk, I got everything that I am, I got from older brother. I mean, he was a butthole, loved him to death, of course, but he made me competitive, which turned into my own kids being competitive. Nobody gets a pass. Because, I mean, that dude would eat the scoreboards at domino games. No.
I burned mine.
Bruh.
Wow.
Bruh.
You ain't gonna talk about this after this.
Right. We're playing domino games. I'm like, yeah, I won. My brother would take the thing, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yo.
As soon as you go to get some,
Right.
as soon as you
Wow.
go get some
What
ribs or a
win?
drink, I'm just like,
Yeah, man. And he had this little Mead tablet, so he kept a score of checkers, and he would be like, you'd be like, last time we played checkers, I won. And he would pull it. No, right here.
He got the receipt.
Oh,
Keeping
man.
the paperwork.
And then when he lost, he would always miraculously get, disappear, or he don't remember. I remember I hit the book from him, and man, that dude wanted to kill me.
Wow.
I was like, what's the score now? Where's my tablet? Where's my tablet?
tablet?
Man, the tablet was his whole world, bro. The tablet was his whole world.
The tablet.
You take the tablet, man, you can probably get money off that dude.
Man.
So that's where I got my competitive thing, which I passed on to them. And it's like, there's no freebies. But as you get older, like now, I got grandkids, I'm like, man, I just play for fun.
Right.
But there was a time where everything was winner. There's no second place.
Yeah.
There was no what they call a competition trophy just because you played. I wanted you to
Participation
Yeah,
trophy.
be there. Yeah, man.
I don't
Matter of
like
fact,
those.
Keefe was decent in baseball, but he got the 3 innings, won it back.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm out there trying to win. And you want to look at butterflies.
Yeah.
So his mom would be like, why you don't play him a lot? I'm like, man, you don't earn it, man. Because you knew as a parent.
You can tell.
You can tell.
You can tell.
And when you're the coach, every parent is looking at you. The only reason why his kid's shortstop because he's the dad.
Right.
But he was good enough to be the pitcher, the shortstop, whatever.
Right.
Keefe was like, man, it wasn't his thing.
That's how my youngest was sincere when we had him playing basketball. He was fast. But I could just see that he wasn't. He was just doing it because we.
Put him out there.
And it was, seeing him and his brother play together, I was like, man, this is dope. But then I was like, but he ain't really.
Man. And I remember in baseball, we didn't know Keefe need glasses.
Yeah, I think I told him that.
Oh my God! I felt so bad for him because I didn't know. Because I'm like, man, you can't catch anything. But he needed glasses.
He couldn't.
Yeah.
So he was pitching, and every time the ball would go, Keefe would run up, go over his head. I'm like, what that? And then we finally need this. So now, of course, I feel bad for all the stuff I said. I'm like, oh, my baby out there, he can't see nothing. I'm just fucking crap.
But I didn't get hit a lot. But when I did, they would hit opposite field because
they couldn't turn on
it because I was throwing hard.
Right.
So they would put him in opposite field. I mean, in left field. sorry, most of the time in baseball when you're growing up in Little League, they put the sorry kid in right field because most kids are pulling the ball.
Right.
With me, they would put him in left field because not very many people turn on. But every once in a while, somebody would turn and he'd be out there and I'd be like, shit. He ain't gonna catch it. And he never caught it. He never caught it. And I'd be like, God, why do y'all play him? Like, I'd be so mad.
He didn't even catch one on accident.
When he got the glasses, he started catching a few more.
Yeah.
And I would be surprised, like, you messing up my ERA, bro.
I remember when I caught one on accident. I just,
throw your glove up, close your eyes, and it's in there. You be like, oh my God, there it is.
Baseball's intimidating, man.
Baseball that was my sport. Yeah. Basketball was cool, but baseball was.
Yeah, that was a funny thing I was thinking about. I was like, what if they asked me what is one of my biggest regrets? So I was already thinking about what it was.
I already know what you're gonna say, and I don't care anymore.
What's the regret?
What is it?
The rule was, you had to maintain. Couldn't have no C's because the GPA is 2.0, I think, and I'm like, that's C's, that's average.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can't do that. And mind you, I sucked in school, so that's when I look back on it. I really should have. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. So he gives me his report card. He's got like A's and B's and everything, and he gets a C in science.
Yeah, which I was never good at science and math. But this ain't my thing.
So my dude, so he's playing in this team. He's damn near unhittable. He's probably batting 600. You know, he's just all world. And they're begging me not to do it. And I said, he's the oldest. And I told all of them, this is the standard for what you have to do in school. And I pulled him off the baseball team.
For that 1C.
And that is like, God. You know,
I stopped playing.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
Basketball, I mean, it worked out, basketball and everything else. But baseball, he was like, I think it was in Antioch, and what's the thing? Dun-dun-dun. He would do so many plays that they would say
ESPN.
that.
They do the ESPN music.
He would just do stuff at short. You know, I mean, he was like, you know, I'm a Derek Jeter fan, but he was before Jeter.
I didn't know you played baseball, bro.
Oh man,
I did. And
well, yeah.
Were you better at baseball than basketball?
Yes, by
far.
Snap. By far. And that's why.
And that's the sport. That's the sport. You can
I'm about
really
to make the wound deeper.
Yeah.
He could have went to the.
Oh wait, here's the kicker. Not only was I better, like way better at it. Our friends, one of my friends' dad is a scout for the Mariners. My best friend's dad played in the minors. I had all these baseball helpers there to get me there.
Connects
with training. Like my friend's dad was doing private training. We had scouts ready. We had all the connects because they all got mad at me when I quit.
Yeah,
it was like, please don't stop playing. And I was like, nah, man. He pulled me off. And what happened? I went to high school the next year, and I got cut. I never been cut from nothing in my life, but I got cut because we were playing basketball for 6 months and we were trash. But the guy that made the team played in that league. The year I got pulled off, he played. So the high school coaches came to the game. They knew who everybody was. So because they didn't know me because I didn't play, I didn't get that pass, and I got cut, and I ain't never been cut for nothing.
They also,
and I was like, I'll never play again. He sucked. We all sucked in track. We were playing hoop the whole time.
Right.
But they knew him from Little League. I didn't play Little League.
They knew him from his brother.
But him too, though. They knew the whole family.
So by the time he came up, I was pissed because I remember, I'm like, he made All-Stars at 7. You know, he was the dude from like forever. And so when he came home and goes, Dad, I got cut, I'm like, kind of effing team is going, so
were they good? Were they just Deer Valley?
Yeah. No, Antioch was a baseball city. They were 16, 17-year-old world champions.
Right.
Like it was baseball
legit, yeah.
But we were all, the point was, we were all trash. If 3 of us came out from the basketball team to baseball tryouts, we were all sucked because we've been playing hoop. But they only kept the one who they knew from Little League. So I told him, you made me quit. I'll never play again. I got cut because of you, and I'll never play again. And that's why I was like,
such a Keon thing.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'll never play again.
Never played.
Should have played again, man.
Nope. Didn't play again.
And I knew, even though he picked up basketball and got his, got his scholarship and all that. I will always feel that was a defining moment that could have went either way.
It's Keon's fault though. He should have got a B.
Well, no, first of all,
it's on him, man. You set the rules.
You set the table.
I did.
It is hard, though.
You're getting A's and B's in everything, and you get 1C in probably a subject that I couldn't dissect a frog.
Science is tough.
Yeah.
But the thing is, my history in like my whole life, the one bad grade would be science. Like that wasn't my English. Everything else.
So
A's and B's.
the scout dude. came and he was like, "Don't pull him, man. Don't pull him." And I'm like, and so I'm debating, whether to do. Cause I'm listening because I know it's kind of stupid, but I'm looking at my other two dudes like, if you let him get away with this, I'm gonna come on with straight ups. Which then my other son started doing stupid stuff at school. But I was like, I gotta hold it. You know, I can't give in. If I give in, everybody gonna want to get a pass.
I get your origin story.
You know, so I was like,
I
mean, I tussled, I tossed and turned with it, and I mean, everybody's calling me. The coach is calling me. You know, my dude's calling me like, man, listen, he'll pick it up. It's funny because they was talking like a father of him. Like, oh, he'll get it together. He'll bring it back. Like, no, man, he's like my son. I told him he cannot. No, so I'm,
they did not want me to
quit. You know, I'm holding the line. You know, I'm holding the line, and I end up pulling him. And then, like I said, when I pulled him, he's batting like 600. You know, pitching, nobody can touch him. I mean, he's like the kid. Yeah. And I'm like, nah, man, nah. And
the rest of the report card was so good.
Solid.
Right.
That's a solid.
Now I'm telling jokes.
You know, and so
I should be retired MLB player, and I'm telling jokes.
Yeah, that was that one and the playoff game. Those are the only two.
That was on you. That had nothing to do with me.
You know, we're all-star game, playoff game, and he's killing. We're winning 2-1, and I miscounted how many innings he could pitch. He could have went one more inning. I pulled him at the 5. We ended up losing 3-2. We sat on the porch, and you know, I don't drink, but I probably could have drank, you know, because I felt so bad because.
Wait, you didn't have an assistant coach? Don't they someone to get in your ear?
But they were telling him, they were like, no, he's
he's good.
He's good.
And I was like, nah, he's done because you couldn't pitch.
Because when the week starts over, you get a new pitch count.
Right.
So the game was like, I got a new pitch count from the week, so I could have pitched the whole game. And he thought I was still on the old pitch count, so he took me out, put some other kid. He blew the game, and all the parents was like, bruh, what are you doing?
And I had squad. And, I mean, we had squad. Because matter of fact, when I took him out, the funny thing is, you know, you cross the middle field, the coaches, whatever. Yeah. Because it was changing from, I think I was on third base coach, so I was going back to the dugout. And the guy goes, whew, because he had a hose. Like, we couldn't touch him. And the very next inning,
smacked.
We ended up losing 3-2.
So, that wasn't on me. That was bad.
Those are my, all the things I really think about, those are the two do-overs that I wish I could have done because I don't know what. Now, first of all, just the second one being a playoff game, whatever. Right. But to make him not play what he loved, that always. And we talk about it all the time. I'm like, man, I wish I didn't go, Dad, I'm doing what I do now. I love it. Yeah. But for me, it's like, what could have been?
What could have been? Yeah.
No matter what anybody says, what could have been, you know, and did I blow it kind of thing, you know, and for me as a father, I do think about that. Yeah. You know, I think about, did I do the right thing by this one? Did I do the right thing by, did I play with this one enough? Did I do it? As you reflect back, you know, you look back and go, did I do everything, you know what I mean, that I could? You know, then you go, I could have did that. I sucked at that, you know. But there's no handbook. You know, when people say, well, how do you become a father? You know, I just took what my mom did, all the love and kisses she gave me, I gave to them, and the toughness that my dad did. And I just tried to try to get rid of the stuff that I didn't like that they do. Yeah, you know, like my dad didn't go to none of my stuff. You know, I was on my own, you know. So I always make sure PTA me when they were little. I'm like, I'm going to the PTA meetings. I'm going to be in it. I don't want to be one of those dads that just sit at home and be like, oh, I want to know why you got these kind of grades.
Yeah, he was too in it, though. We couldn't get away with nothing.
Oh, man, I didn't
and he delivered mail for a living, so he knew when report cards was coming. I was like,
wasn't no sneaking around?
It wasn't nothing. He was too involved. I was like, get out of here. Because Keith got good grades. He was the smart one. Keith was he got straight A's up until, like, girls grew boobs, pretty much. Like, up until, like, 8th grade, he was straight A student. He was in GATE program.
He just went down the toilet.
He was super smart.
I was like, no, he didn't go down the toilet. I shouldn't say that. He just
got bored.
They get bored,
and distracted. Like girls, this is a distraction. But he would always want to show his report cards, and I was like, "Hey, man, listen,
hey, not easy."
Because you had the progress reports, and then you had report cards. Yeah. So the progress reports would come out, and I was like, "No, I got time to pick it up. Just don't show." He was like,
"But I ruin his moment."
Yeah. Man. He was like, "I want to show the progress reports." So but then I just figured out.
But I'm smart.
I would just lie and be like, "Well, actually, it was the truth. You only get a progress report if you had C's or below." So I'd be like, well, I must ain't got no C's then because so I would just throw it away.
For me,
and I had time to pick it up.
I was always when I was in school, I always had some girls because I was always on progress report. You know, my grades was ridiculous, and I would always get 2 girls to write my grades that I wanted. Oh wow! And so one day I came home. I was on punishment a ton. And I give my dad my report card, and it's like A's, B's, blah, blah, blah. Very next day, the real report card came. So my dad calls me in the room. He goes, hey, man, let me see that report card that you had. I said, oh, I already turned it back in. He goes, because I'm sure it didn't look like this. And I got like straight F's.
Oh,
man.
snap.
You know, and he was like, so you got people doing it. So when it came to them, I was like trying to stay on top of it. Like, nah, man, because when I was in school, this is what I was doing. You know, I don't want to see no handwritten, you know. And plus you can look online. Like back then we didn't have the stuff we got now. But my dad was like, that ain't the same thing you showed me just the other day. And I was like, oh, crap. You know, so that was over. I didn't like report cards. You know. But the funny thing with that was, and I try not to have regrets for my own stuff because, you know, like you can coulda, woulda, shoulda, woulda kind of thing.
Right.
But I think what I put into my kids made up for my own failures in my own life as far as like school and whatever. Like I would go to basketball, but I didn't have the grades to make it. But I knew I was good.
Yeah.
I beat the starting point guard of the varsity team at Crenshaw High School. And then he begged me not to tell anybody. I said, I don't have to tell nobody as long as you know I beat you.
Yeah.
But then by the time, you know, it comes for the trials and everything, make the cut. Finally trying to make the team, let's get the grades. Bruh, you ain't eligible. So when he was able to do it, I was like, I made sure.
You stayed
I
on
don't
it.
want nothing to hold you back from making this team.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of my stuff came from, my own failed childhood, if you will, to be able to say, well, you're going to do what I didn't do. Not living through his life.
Right. But just
guiding.
corrections.
Give me that opportunity.
Making sure you do.
That's what makes a good parent.
Right.
Like you see the fumbles and you want to avoid that with your kids. Like,
right. You try to say, don't fall in the same pitfalls. And that's why me and Keefe would always do like this. I'm like, baby, you're the smartest in the family.
Yeah.
He still is. It's not even close.
By far. You know, I mean, this guy, I mean, I used to tell him, you read books for fun.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not talking about like little books. You know, Keefe come on with like Harry Potter, you know, and 2 days later he's done. I'm like, what? You know, that's what he did.
Right.
You know, and so he's hella intelligent, still is, but he got bored. Like you said, one of you guys was saying he's bored. He got lazy. You know, like I can do this. You know, so he did just enough to get by, but I was like, you're so much better than that. You know? So it bothered me that he wouldn't expound on what he really was. Because you don't go from gate program to coming home with D's and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, what's up? But then I thought about myself, and I'm like, he's just doing the same thing. It scared me, actually. Yeah. That was he was the only kid that made me nervous.
Okay.
You know, for his was more like girls type thing. You know, I'm like, oh, this nigga. Yeah. So
don't come here with no babies.
Right. And I remember
but I was focused on sports. I was like, I'm not trying to have any girl.
I actually told him, it was funny because I even think Kyron, I don't know when I had to talk with Kyron, was like 7 or whatever. He shouldn't have had the conversation, but I'm talking to all of them at the same time. He come in here too. And I said, let me tell you something.
Yeah, why did he come in there?
I'll come in there. I was just trying to get
He was in there like, what? What's happening?
So I told both of us, I said, if a man knocks on my door and tells me you got his daughter pregnant, short of him killing you, I'm going to let him have his way with you. I mean that. I said, life as you know it is going to end. There will be no more sports. You will take care. I didn't say you got to marry this woman, but you will definitely take care of that child. Right. And so that's all I instilled. You know, do you? You know what I mean? But, you know, and I knew, you know, my kids are handsome. You know what I mean? I know they're going to struggle. And I think when he started playing basketball, got really good, I could hear it as I'm in the stands. Yeah. Ooh, you know, like, what was the movie where the girl was talking about, ooh, look at his butt, whatever. I can't remember the Love and Basketball.
Yeah.
So I would hear all the girls talking about him like, okay, he's there. Now, as a father, of course, you're like, yes, but no. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yes, but no. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking about myself like, I'm straight trash. You know, I didn't have the same upbringing. My dad was get them all.
Okay.
You know, get them all, son. It's about notching belts. You know. Now as a kid, I loved it. You know, 7th, 8th grade, I'm spending the night. I'm out there, bro. Right. But I didn't want that to happen to them because I felt like it's something that it stay with you. You know, it can put you on a path that you can't get off of. So I was always like, man, don't do that, bro. But I knew you as a guy, as a young man, handsome guys. I'm like, I know it's going to be there, but you know. Right. So it was a real touchy thing. I remember the time you called me when you was in college.
No, I was wild.
He calls me. And
he said, no, I was wild.
We talked for about, my phone died. That's how long we was talking. He didn't say anything, though. And he's just talking, and I get ready to hang up. He goes, well, Dad, I got to tell you something. And I'm like, we've been talking for an hour and a half. What you gonna tell me? So I said, let me charge up my phone, and I'll call you back. Yeah. And I hang up. I'm like, God damn, he got something. Oh shit, he from school, you know.
Yeah.
So I call him back, and I'm like, hello.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's up? And he was telling about some girl wanted to come over, and she wanted to smash, but you just wanted to be cool with her. She had sweatpants on or whatever, and she was real nice looking. And I'm like, so why don't you just tell her you don't want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my advice then. Just tell her you're not interested, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I was like, yes, because me, I'd have smashed. You know, that's me, though. But I didn't want my son to be like,
no, because I was at a
Right.
point where I was getting so bad, I was like, I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
Because I was just wilding out. And I was like, I got
So he called me,
Yeah.
and we talked about it. And the next day he calls me and goes, it worked. Now I forgot about what he's talking about. I said, what are you talking about? I told her I didn't want to do it. And she said she respect that. And I was like, see?
Yeah.
Good. You know, and I was like, I always wanted them to be decent men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To the best of my ability. Now, what they do that I don't know, that's on them. But as far as what I knew and what I could control,
Right.
I always wanted them to be decent. You know what I mean? You know, you gotta break the cycle. You know what I mean? And so for me, it was like, man, y'all, you know, just try to do it. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't raised like that. You know, I really wasn't. My dad was like, man, you can get it. You know, and for them, it was like, because it just, you know.
And that's good that you knew that, even though you were raised a certain way, you was able to be like, I'm gonna show them
different.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna show them.
Right.
Because when because I know what my son looks like. You know, and so Serene, and so grown women be saying, I'll be like, hey, and so I know girls like him, but it's not like I don't have a reaction like, son. I'll be like, hopefully he don't wild out and go down the path of women.
Right.
So
and I never wanted that. I think Kiwi stayed a virgin for like a long time, and he was like,
what he told you. he was later. It was only me, and then Kyron when he got older.
But I mean, and I know it's gonna happen. What I didn't want.
But I told you when I lost mine.
Yeah.
I told you like a day later, a week later, something like that.
And I was, and with that you go, it's a passage. You know what? It's natural.
Yeah.
But you just want to control it. You know, it's like anything. Drinking. Drink, but you ain't got to fall out. You know, get high, but don't be stupid. You know, whatever you do, keep it in moderation. You know, when you just buck wild crazy with it, it controls you.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, bro. So I never wanted my kids to be,
out of control.
Abusers.
Yeah. Out of control.
I really didn't want that.
That'd be the main. That's the main worry of like the kids, because you see how your kids roll, and you be like, all right, like with my youngest, good grades, focus.
Right.
Like, I feel like girls won't be his issue in terms of like running through him. He has the committed relationship vibe.
Yeah. That's what Keith was.
Yeah, so I was like, all right.
Yeah,
so
you want to get married.
there.
You want to get married at like 9. Like, well, I got to play a little bit. But him, it's like 1. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, and I'm
this
like,
character over here.
But then
I remember picking him up from school, and some guy, what that girl name was, she had the pajamas. Pajama day.
She's still fine.
And I don't know, was you on punishment at the time? I can't remember. But I was like, who's that? And they said, bye, Keon. And I'm like, who's that? And he's like, oh, that's Chanel, whatever her name was. I can't remember. But I always wanted them to have, light looking women. Whatever.
Oh, you're talking about in high school?
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I think this is a Black Diamond.
No, that's a different story. What you're talking about, I was talking to her, and then I was on punishment.
Oh, okay.
And then he was like, oh, if you would have told me you was talking to her, I'd have let you off.
Yeah.
Release.
Yeah.
He's like, her? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry about that.
So, I do, like, they're all married, they got, family and whatnot, and, I think that's great, and that's one of the things, like I said, I look at certain things and be like, I tried my best to make sure they didn't end up, a different kind of way.
Yeah.
Especially when you got sports, good looks or whatever. That can go south easy.
It can.
And for me, it was like, can we just control it?
There's always the worry, man.
Always.
I used to watch Serene on the football field, have a great game. I'm just like, looking around, like, hopefully,
Because Serene, too, he got tall, he got muscular.
He's tall, muscular.
I remember Cotty was like, he's a handsome young man now. I was like, all right.
Yeah, so it's just like,
Swaggy.
And you
He's
feel
super
it,
swaggy.
Super
you
swaggy.
get people saying, oh, he gonna be. When you hear that, he gonna be.
Yeah, so it's
That means
just
you
like,
looking, your son gonna be, ooh.
Yeah,
Hey,
and you know my son's 21 now, so
Right.
technically
fair game.
Right.
It's fair game now.
Like,
But
Like,
he's
I
still-
get the double back. Ooh, he gonna be. Wait, how old is he? I'm like,
Yeah,
you can't come
like,
back with
hey,
that.
hey,
How old
get
is he?
out of here
what's
with
going on here? You know
I had
what
a
I'm saying?
group of women at my job actually get mad at me because he was, I don't know, he was performing doing something, had a picture up, and they was like, and you know what they call cougars, and they was like, ooh, and so of course I got offended. Like, first of all, my son's attractive, he's handsome.
Yeah,
Y'all way out of his league. They got pissed.
yeah.
Well, I got daughters and grandsons. He don't want them. And I mean, you know, and they got pissed. And,
Yeah.
so you said, watch this. So you're saying your son is too good to be with my. Why do you want my son to smash and just move on?
Right.
That makes zero sense to me.
Zero.
But there was almost like, oh, he'll hit that. And I'm like, well,
Why would you offer
sales-
that up?
the
Yeah.
selling the
yeah.
kids
Right.
off?
I said, wow. They was pissed. They were, oh, so you think your kid is too good to be around? No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying I don't want my kid to be running through all your nieces in there. What the?
I don't want to hear you coming up to work complaining.
Right.
Right. Man, that was so crazy.
And it's got to feel good too that your sons come to you for, you know, when it comes to like relationships with women, girls, whatever. Because I know, like, you know, when Sincere hit me up about he came to me about, you know, what should he do in this situation with a girl he liked.
Right.
And it's my youngest one, and I felt good that he was
you.
willing to come to me and ask me for advice, and like, I was like, oh, for sure. He was like, because he was like, Dad,
Tony
can I
got his pipe. He was like,
Oh
let me get in the
man,
character.
I was happy. Like, yeah, you can come to me with anything, and
Because
like
as
that's
they
a great
get
feeling.
older, they got friends.
Yeah,
And, you know, when you grew up, you went to your friends when you was trying to find out what's going on. You didn't go to Pops. You know,
Right.
I could.
And
Actually, I didn't go to my pop. My pop came to me.
yeah,
You know, but when they come to you, and they could ask anybody on the basketball team, whatever friend, and they
Yeah.
come to you and say, Dad, what do you think about this? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still the guy. You know,
Right.
I know you got partners and things like that,
Uh-huh.
but when it comes down to real serious issue, you
Right.
came to me.
Mhm.
You know, so yeah, that's
a great feeling.
that's a
Well, in
awesome
college, you were the only one I could call because my friends, they're my age, and we're all on the same height. We're all on the college basketball. Everybody's wilding, but
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm mixing up names and faces. I don't know. I felt like I was in like a. It's just like you wake up in a different day, and
Right.
it's the same, and I was like, I got a problem, bro.
Yeah,
So I was like, I can't talk to you guys because they were just like, you kill it.
yeah.
And I was like, this is
It's
not
like talking
Yeah.
to other addicts.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Like, how do
Yeah.
I get off heroin? Why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Man? Anyway, cook this up.
So they was like, what's the problem? And
Yeah.
I was like, me. Like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
And so I was like, well, I'll call him. Maybe he'll talk me off the ledge.
And then a lot of
Yeah.
college and high school kids lie, trying to be
Yeah.
more popular than what they are, and
Oh,
have
yeah.
you what you could really do, boosting your stuff
Right.
up. Where you're like, oh man, y'all ain't doing none of this stuff y'all said.
Right.
Right.
So when you really doing it, they be like, "Are you really for real?"
That's how I would feel.
So this is really what college is really like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good conversation. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, man, that was cool. You know, I really, it made me feel good to know, especially that issue.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, I could have been like,
Because I was
any
like
other
20, 21.
dude. Right. I could have been
I
like,
was-
hey, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Smash that.
Yeah.
You know, but I always had to try to be a real father.
Right.
Not the one that just says, son, get done.
Yeah.
You know? But I was like, nah, I don't want that. You know, I never wanted to be, and none of them have any part of that.
Right.
Because I think it's all about character. You know, and I really believe that, you know, whatever you do, like when people say, man, I've been smoking since I was, you know,
Yeah.
because you've been doing it for so long.
Right.
So my whole thing was, I don't want you doing that. So I was always trying to give them something totally different
Yeah.
than what I was.
Right.
One of the lines that stick with me is, "I'm your daddy, not your friend." I tell
And
my
that's the
kids
only way
that
you can
all
do
the
it.
time.
When you get older, man, you gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm quick to tell
He's had
them.
no water, by the way.
Oh man, yeah,
we
we
don't
about
want
to
to
be
drink
like
his water.
that.
He's like,
I've been tearing my water up. Where we at, Cam, on time?
Hour 20.
Oh man, we
fine.
shoot. Yeah, that's a good time right there.
Yeah.
You know, if Chaz was here, he'd be like,
What about the
keep
question?
going.
Yeah. Questions.
Y'all want to do a question?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then You got any of the DC patented
Yeah, actually,
questions?
you know I got.
You know the DC.
The DC
questions.
change in the middle.
Did he be changing the rules
comeback.
depending on how we answer? I like the DC questions.
I like the
let me
changes.
see.
It throws it in there for the loop. Like,
A little
I didn't have
remix.
one already. Hold on.
like this
Where
is
my
easy.
notes at?
Wait,
I didn't go through I didn't go through the comments this time. I think
wait,
everybody
wait,
was
wait.
talking
I
about.
might
I
have
got
one.
questions on deck.
I thought everybody was talking about Dorothy.
Oh,
So that's all I saw.
Dorothy.
Dorothy. The
We'll do
only
a
thing
quick,
I know is that your mama's a hoe.
I'll do a quick.
Movie's so
this is a funny one, y'all. All right, this is from J.B. Well Orig. I hope I said the name right. J.B. Well Orig. Question: what is your worst rejection, dating or otherwise? I get rejected by a cashier with the full line behind me, and my response was, "But I'm me." So he wants to know what our worst rejection was, dating or otherwise.
I mean, for the otherwise, we just talked about it. Me getting cut was my worst.
Oh yeah,
by far. Like
mine's too.
I was like, it changed.
Sports
everything.
cuts.
Cut from JV. I got cut from from junior high, 8th grade basketball team.
Yeah.
When I tell you, I went and sat in a dumpster, like where the dumpster be.
Yeah.
And cry.
Oh wow.
And vowed to myself, watch how hard I'm gonna work this summer.
Yeah.
Which like getting cut from something,
man,
that really threw me off, but made me work really hard.
Yeah.
And it's how I turned into like a point guard.
Yeah.
So I just dribbled. All I can do is dribble. I just start dribbling for like a whole summer. Dribble. I didn't take no shots. Couldn't shoot worth shit. But dribble. Handles. I turned into a tall, lanky point guard. But getting cut was probably my worst form of rejection.
Yeah, like
8th grade
as far as
basketball
otherwise.
team. Yeah.
Women wise.
Yeah.
You never been rejected?
No, but they was just like it didn't hurt like that. It was just like, okay, well, dime a dozen.
Right. On to the next.
Because I would ask girls like to prom or dance or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, I'm going with so and so already," or no, thank you. And I'd be like, "Okay, well, like it was just this was my top of list, but I still have another list. If I could get this first, no, okay, well, there's somebody
like the A team versus the B team.
Yeah. Like, that's it. It wasn't a female rejection. Never really. Like, okay, well, that's. I was never well, fuck you then, bitch. Like I was just like, okay, that's
nothing ever heard on the rejection.
Nah, it's like that's okay, that's fine.
Craig,
I got rejected on a proposal. I was on my way down on one knee, and she's like, no. She's like, you ain't ready for this. No. And we went to the movies and went home.
You remember
I was on my way down. She's like, no.
What movie?
You remember the movie?
Nah, I was hot the whole rest of the relationship.
That screen was blank. That screen was blank to Craig for 2 hours.
Another 2 years. I was hot the whole rest of the relationship.
That whole screen was just him getting rejected for 2 hours.
He didn't even hear nothing.
I was going down on one knee. And she strong. I was going down. She like,
did y'all ever talk about it after that, or?
A little bit, but not really. It was a sore spot.
Yeah, that's
like,
tough.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is gonna end one of these days soon, I guess.
That's tough. Somebody asked in the comments section, "What is your worst rejection, dating or otherwise?"
What's yours? Why he's thinking?
Okay.
Mine is I got several. First of all, like getting rejected in Hollywood. When they bring you in for a role, you don't get the part. But one of my worst on the female tip, I remember it was this girl. Her name was Darcella. And shout out to Darcella if you're watching. I really like Darcella, man. And this was in high school. I think she was a little bit older than me, and she had a kid. I remember she had a kid in high school.
Okay.
Tony trying to be a stepdad.
I liked her, man. You know what I'm saying? If I got to be a stepdad, so be it. You know what I'm talking about? And so I was making my way downtown. You know what I'm saying? I was putting the work in, winning her over.
Bringing her toys for the kid.
And started hanging with this older cat. His name was D. And he had a car, you know what I'm saying? He had his own money, so he had the clothes, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't think he was a threat, and so she started hanging with D. And I'm just like, and then I slowly just see hanging with D, and then they date. I'm just like, So it really wasn't a straight up rejection, but it was like, man, that hurt my little soul. And then when they broke up, they fell through or whatever. She tried to, sit on my lap one time. I'm like, man, get off my lap. Straight told her that. She's like, damn. I'm like, yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like
you ain't gonna
that.
push
It's
me
like
to the
that.
side. Yeah.
Nah, man, you ain't gonna push me to the side and then come back. You
You ain't gonna
what I'm
leave
saying?
me for some
You
dude
fell
with
for
a
the
car.
flash in the car. He could pick
Right.
you up. I couldn't pick you up.
Yeah. Hey, big head.
Yeah.
I think when
that
you
was a
just
tough
said
one.
that, it made me think of Shayna James. She went to Morningside High School. I was in junior high school, and she was built. I was actually scared of her because I was I'm young, but she was already everywhere.
Yeah.
Fine, just fine, and that was back in the day when you put a lot of baby oil on.
Oh Oh, she was glistening.
Yeah.
She was shining.
And
He just in class.
Yeah.
no, this is summertime. This is summertime, so shorts every day. You
Yeah.
know? And I remember it's so funny because I was nervous.
Yeah.
She was just built.
Uh-huh.
And so we went around the house and was kissing. So she had a halter top. So every time I lean into her, you know, it would come up, and I would just be like.
The instant laugh.
So, but I guess I wasn't mature enough to where she was. So one day I go to
The giggles each time.
so one time I go to the school, and that's where we would meet, and there was a dude's name was, I think, Durrell, and he was a high school dude. And she was sitting on the bench, and he was hugging her like this. So I didn't get an official, like, we're done.
Yeah.
I just walk in and see her. So what was my response on the way home? I picked up a rock, threw it, hit her in the ankle, cut her ankle.
Violence.
You threw a rock at
I
her?
threw a brick,
Oh.
and it skipped off the ground. It came up and hit her in the ankle, cut her ankle. She went and told my mom, and my mom was like, why'd you do this? It's cut. You know,
Yeah.
it's bleeding and everything. And I'm like, she was with that boy and everything. My mother's like, what? You know, getting out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I wasn't rejected per se,
Uh-huh.
but I think,
But mad enough to throw bricks.
but I was pissed. I was pissed. She was bad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She was bad. You know, so after that, I think I spent the rest of my time basically, if you ain't giving me hints,
Right.
I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to say, you know, you nice, but
Yeah.
I went for the ones that's falling over. You know, it's there.
Yeah.
You know,
I
come on.
like you like
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
the obvious. I'm not trying to work for nothing.
And that's why I got rejected a lot. I would just go for the no signals, no nothing. I'm gonna
Yeah, man.
see what we got here.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, all right. You know,
I was
I take
always-
rejection well, but
Yeah.
that rejection, the seller, that one hurt because I saw the whole
You saw it
transition
come
of
out.
it.
Yeah.
You know,
But
the
do you see
introduction.
why she was like no? Because you like she's like I'm trying to give you some.
What's your name hurt too?
Yeah.
Getting rejected by Def Jam. When I auditioned for
yeah.
Def
Oh,
Jam,
you killed that audition.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one hurt me
yeah,
too.
bro.
When I didn't get Def Jam, HBO's Def Jam, and I saw all my peers
Yeah.
graduate on to that, I was like, yeah, that one hurt.
I feel that.
Yeah,
That
that
felt,
hurt.
we were all there though. So DC for
killed
you
it.
guys
Yeah.
don't know. DC not only went last. There were supposed to be 10.
Yeah,
12?
supposed to be 10.
Then they added
like
a bunch of
6
people.
more.
So DC went like 14.
Yeah.
And then this
Everybody's
actor goes
tired.
up there that doesn't do stand
Doesn't do
up.
stand
And he
up.
does 20 minutes on stage,
And
just
bombs.
absorbing the clock.
Right.
I'm still
So
mad
DC's
about
got
that.
all this stuff against him, and we're thinking he's going to bomb because the actor didn't ruin the room.
Ruined the room.
And DC got up there and murdered after
Yeah.
14 people and an actor, and they didn't give it to him. And we were
Right.
like, he deserved it.
He
Like,
did.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, he deserved it. And we were like, damn.
Yeah, I think that one got me
That-
too.
I got a lot of. I
trying
remember
to
when
think
I
which
got
actor.
when I did advance on Last Comic Standing the
Columbus
first time I
Short.
did it,
Oh, okay.
and I knew I had a really good set,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't advance to the next round. That hurt. I was.
I
I
heard-
cried
I heard
on that one.
They said that
I cried on that one.
there was politics in that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was just.
I remember he was working.
And when
on
you
that.
hear
Yeah.
politics, it don't make it no better.
Yeah,
it don't
you
make
be like-
the
It
pain.
just makes it be
You
like,
like, what
well,
that
if I
got to
had
do
the
with
bigger
me?
It's
agent-
just frustrating
Right.
because I delivered. I did
Yeah,
what I
I
was
get it.
supposed
You
to
did
do.
your part.
And if it was supposed to be a fair game,
Right.
then
It was not.
You know,
I feel
there ain't
like
nothing I could do about it. I felt that one.
And
feel
especially something like that when it's
Could've
like, man,
changed
this
your
could
life.
life changing.
Right.
This could be
Yeah,
It
life
did
I was
change
right
some people's
there.
lives.
Right.
And I was like,
And then-
I think that's why they brought me back so easily the second time. 'Cause I
Yeah.
think they felt guilty
They know what they do.
because they kept having me do stuff after the fact.
That's them
It was just
saying,
like-
you know, we're
because it was
sorry.
blatant. It was a good set,
Yeah.
and you know we couldn't see each other's performances.
Right. You
I
felt
just
it.
know it felt right.
Right.
And then my agent was in the audience the whole time. He was just like, "You was easily one of the best of the night." And then now I was just like,
That stuff be stinging,
I-
bro.
yeah.
Maybe-
I
it'd
feel
be-
I should
it'd be-
apologize to DC because I think Marlon told Columbus to. Yeah, man, you should do stand up. You know how he be telling everybody, yeah, you should do
he
stand
already
up.
knew, man.
I
I
didn't
think
say a
Marlon
thing.
gave
My
him that
bad.
talk. Yeah, you should do stand up. You should.
That was a long time.
And that was a
like-
long night, and like DC was dead last, so that's the worst.
Yeah.
you
Is it
know.
7 minutes? You supposed to do 7 minutes. He
Yeah.
did 20.
He did 20, and they already changed, or they had added another person
Yep.
too, and like DC, because it was only supposed to be that many, and then DC went 4. We was like, because in my mind,
They
I
were
was like,
adding people and putting them before me.
right,
Yeah.
And I was just like, they're
Wow.
setting him up to fail.
Right.
And
Yeah,
the fact that he didn't fail, even though they set him up to, like, I was like, how you run that crowd when they were clearly tired?
They were done.
And done, and he murdered, and we were like, yes, he's still
Yep.
going to get it.
Because
They
the
didn't
later
get it.
people were starting to run out of steam. Like the
Right.
audience wasn't really giving it to
Yeah.
them. And
Yeah,
DC
that one did hurt.
came-
I forgot that one did hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was completely unfair. Yours was unfair too, and they both was. Hollywood is like, it's so much BS. So like, for example, if you got a guy like Tony who's about to do a show and murdering, and you're a big time agent, you're telling the show, I need him gone because my person can't compete with that.
Right.
So even in
The
DC,
unspoken truth.
right, it's all that kind of stuff. So DC gets up there and murders, and they didn't expect. They were trying to sabotage him. He kills, and they're like, well, somebody here is saying, well, we need this to happen, and yada yada yada, and it's just like, you just got to take it.
Right.
Yeah.
You just take it, even though you did what you were supposed to do. You did
Delivered.
everything right, and you just have to take this Hollywood game, and it's just like, all right.
Oh, I don't have any of those stories. We talk about kids all day. I talk about kids.
You
Talk about
gave
kids.
us a good one though.
I have nothing.
Well, I think unless you got,
No.
all right, I think we good. Thank you.
I'm
for
gonna have. I'll
joining
have
us.
them next time.
Okay. Thank you for coming through.
Oh,
man,
man,
it was a
blast.
honor.
Blessing us with the story. Come back anytime.
Okay, I'll do that.
Shoot, I want my dad to come through. But he'll
when-
never come
when-
to
I thought
Cali,
you were
man.
supposed to come.
I can't get him. I gotta get him on get this schedule right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna fly him?
Yeah, our
Come on,
dad.
fine, man. We gotta bring.
Our dad.
We got to have him up in here, man.
I want to meet your dad.
Me and him got some great stories. You mean our dad?
Yeah.
I want to meet y'all dad. I wonder if you act like your dad or like your
Nah,
mom.
I probably act like my mom.
Ooh.
My mom heck a calm. My dad more rambunctious.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because that's how he is. You know, like
Yeah.
even when we all talk, you know,
Uh-huh.
when I talk to my other kids about an issue, and I was like, well, you talk to Keon? Well, you know, we already know what he's gonna say. You know, it's
Yeah.
kind of he's not that he's not committal. It's just that shit, your life, your kind of thing. You know, it's
Yeah.
not. I'm not gonna stress over it, whatever. You know, and so we all know that. You know what I mean? But when he's animate about certain things, oh, it's crazy because you don't expect it. But it'd be like, you know what I just said, man, and then he goes into it. So it's not like he can't do it or doesn't do it, but that's not his MO. He's more
Yeah.
like his mom, just kind of like
Even kill.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
My
but
mom
my
be
other-
chilling. My mom.
Yeah.
be
yeah, she don't give a damn. Like, oh, I got shot in my chest. Oh, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Put-
what?
put
You
something
know?
on it and-
Yeah.
But my granny was like that.
Yeah.
My granny was super calm, like all the time. One, I think because she was just old and lived so much life. You know, like I remember one time Keith was choking on a piece of ice. Like he's choking and everybody's panicking. Like
And she just
It'll
Yeah.
melt. It'll melt.
It'll melt, yeah. But she was just like, she walked over. She walks past everybody. Everybody's like hitting his back. Blah, blah. She walks over, turns on the water, lets it heat up, puts the water in there. And she's like, drink this. And it melted the ice. She was like, you guys are dramatic. And then she just walked off. Like, she moves so slow. Though. It's
Right.
ice. It's going to, but
It's
we
gonna
didn't.
melt.
We were just like, he's choking. And he's like, and she was just like, here, poured it down his throat. And she was like, she just looked at everybody and went back to her stories. Like, you guys are stupid.
Yeah.
But But I enjoyed coming. You know, I was driving down. I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, you know, how's this gonna go? What kind of questions are gonna be asking? whatever. But I had a good time. You know, thanks for having me. And
Well, we are currently hiring and looking for another
Right,
member.
because Chaz,
Chaz
So
is
just-
getting on that nerve. Sick of him.
Chaz.
Trash
Free Rash
Chaz,
McGee.
the swing boy.
No, I mean, if you know, the funny thing is because I'm in the Bay. You know, originally, of course, from here, but I could never come back here though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the Bay Area better than down here.
You know,
so I totally get it.
man, you couldn't give me a house paid for. I just sell and keep the money and stay where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think I grew up in so much traffic, First of all, I escaped. That's why let me just say this real quick.
Yeah.
People talk about COVID and everything like that. I'm like, man, I survived South Central.
Right.
There is nothing on this planet that I get nervous about.
Mm-hmm.
Because you figure from about 11 years old to about 18, I'm looking over my shoulder every day.
Yeah.
COVID or any pandemic or anything, it's like, man, I survived. So
Yeah.
when I tell people that, it's like, it's not that I don't take it serious. Not like I know people lost loved ones. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
I'm just saying don't get me to panic because I've already panicked for like
Right.
9 years straight.
Right.
You
9
know,
years straight
you can't
panicking.
make me. I'm talking about straight.
On the
I'm talking
day-to-day.
about on a daily basis. Every day you walk out like, this could be the last day.
Right.
This could be the last day. You know, so when I left LA, I was like, I made it.
I made
it.
There was nothing that could happen that would make me. I survived.
Right.
You know what I mean? I remember that. I don't know how much time we got.
about Chicago?
I remember I took.
You feel that way about Chicago?
Yeah, it's like
it's rough over
because people
there.
don't talk about the trauma that comes with living in, you know, a violent environment, and it's like I always say on the show, like I always had my armor on until I moved away.
Yeah.
And I was able to take the armor off. I was like, oh, I can't smile.
You can relax a little bit.
Yeah,
right. Everything
but I didn't know that until
like...
I went back with somebody that wasn't from there. But like, why you change when you go back to Chicago? And I was like, what do you mean? It's like you stop smiling. Your energy's
Everybody
different.
had an angle. Everywhere you went, your life could end in every 10 blocks was a new gang, rolling 60, 70 years old. It's like everywhere you go. So when I see people, I want to know where you're from. Now I laugh, I smile when I see people. Before it would be like, I look at you, I'm sizing you up. Yep. Can I take you? Can he fight?
Are you trying to rob me? Are you complimenting me because you want my shit?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so when you do that for so long, it takes a while to get it out your system.
Right.
You know, I remember we came down to L.A. and he had a Jason Kidd jersey on, red. We going to the Slauson swap meet. This guy so we're dressed, we're ready to go. Right. And then he walks by and I'm like, yo man, where you going? He goes, I thought we was going to the mall. We are, but you ain't wearing that. Yeah. You know, and he was like, why? So I had to explain it to him and everything like that. Then remember the time we was driving the car?
Well, because I felt like I'm not from here. They're not worried. I'm not in. Yeah. They know who's about the life and who ain't. And I was like, they gonna look at me. I'm not from here.
When my grandson was born, Keon was born, I had bought a red shirt. I'm in the elevator. Lady comes in the elevator. She goes, oh, red looks nice on you. I said, thank you. Oh, my God. This is the first red shirt I've ever owned. You know, so when you start thinking about how growing up affects what you do. Now I got a lot of red stuff now. You know what I mean? But before, my bike is red. But before, man, I blew everything. You know, I'm not red nothing. You know, I don't even want, if I get a bloody nose, it's gonna be green. You know, so when I left and you know I survived, I never wanted my kids to grow up like that. So the way they grew up in the suburbs and mixed, you know, and all that, I thought that was great because I know how much LA beat me as far as mentally and you know to be nice, what you want to be. But the streets will tell you not to be. Right. You know, I might want to compliment you on something, but I don't know how you're going to take it. You know what I mean? I call
it's hood PTSD. Yeah. Like they really need counseling for people who make it, because you really do make it out and you're really traumatized. But
you are. You know, and it's only when you go to therapy and they start saying, well, how was your childhood? And you realize you can do 9 sessions just on your child, and you still ain't done because you'll remember something. Yeah. And they'll say, so how was, oh, shoot. You know, then you just keep going over and over, and you're like, oh, my God. Then you start really thinking about what you went through, you know, what you saw, you know.
A lot of it you don't know is traumatic until you see their reaction. Like, oh, my God, you did what?
You know, you start talking about.
Everybody's getting their throat slit.
You're right. So when you start talking about, you know, death is like, you know how many people I've seen get killed? I mean, like, literally.
And that's the crazy part, like, you know, because I saw somebody get killed when I was a kid. Right. And it was just like, this is what the city is. Yeah. And I'm like, no, that's not.
Right. That's not supposed to be
I'm not supposed to see that as a kid. I'm not supposed to see a man stumble to his death.
Right.
And like, I didn't notice it until I seen it in movies. Like, you watch them in the Middle East and you seen the little kids. Like, yeah, that's just like if you were in the park in the middle of Chicago or in the middle of LA and you seen someone get shot.
Right.
My dude got killed over a dollar dice. The dice rolled into the crack, and he called a 4 or whatever the number was, and he called it a 3. And Steve-O goes, man, that's on the 4 is more than the 3. And the guy goes, nah, man. He goes, man, I want the dollar. Right there, like all of us is right here. Yeah, right there. And then we all grew up together, and so, and he didn't. He shot him, and then walked away like it was nothing. I'm looking at my dude, and you know it was crazy because the amount of like clots, it looked like cubes of ice. So it would be running, clot, running, clot. And so when it was all said and done, it was like 7 little cubes of blood clots on the ground. And I mean, I'm probably 8, 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they betting $1.
Over $1. Yeah. So my whole thing was, oh, my God, your life can end over something that small. Right. You know, and nobody knew. I mean, that's just like, you know, anybody saying, man, I ain't giving you nothing. Okay, wow. You wouldn't expect to die over something that
not
trivial.
$1.
Right.
$1.
And so for me, of course, when I, you know, talk about my childhood and whatever, it's like, oh, my God. You know, that was a lot. You know, so I remember we went to play basketball in San Francisco, and you guys saw that fight in Oakland in the front yard.
Yeah.
And I was like, that ain't nothing to be getting excited about, because that's the norm for me. But for him, I try to shield him, not give it to him, but not just give it to him.
Right.
You know, because I don't want my kid to be square, you know, and get robbed and stuff like that. But I don't want you to become that either. You know, so that was a very thin line. The balance to say, you know, I want you to be out there, be nice with your hands, defend yourself, but don't be stupid with it, because everybody can't fight. And I've seen people get shot, stabbed because they can't.
But then you got mad at me the one time I went to the party, and remember when they was having the beefs and they would jump people back and forth. I was a friend of somebody else, so some Yvonne was like, "Oh, he in there too." So they was like, "Let's go find him." So I'm hiding. So I call him like, "Yo, you got to come get me, bro. Like they trying to get me. Like they looking for me. The party already got shot up. Everything like that."
I remember that one.
So I'm staying inside. So he's waiting outside and finally comes in like, "Why'd you come outside?" I'm like, "I thought I was supposed to be hiding. Like, I thought I was supposed to be protecting myself and not in the mix." You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, "But I've been waiting out here." I was like, "Well, I wasn't going to come out because that's where all the stuff was. I didn't know that cleared out. I don't know. You know what I mean?"
And that's the scary part of doing it, getting a phone call from your pops. So I remember I called my dad. We about to get jumped. I'm at this girl's house in Compton. I don't even like Compton, but I chased that over there. You know what I mean? We come outside, and it's like 8 dudes. What up, cuz? So me and my boy Billy, I called my dad. I was like, "Hey, man, you got to come get us." He goes, "All right, I'm going to be on the corner." Literally, this is how it went down. We don't want to run, but we don't want to engage. So again, it's that trying to get that balance. Like, I ain't a coward, but I want to be a coward because I'm going to get killed, because it's like 9 of you guys, it's 2 of us. But we don't want to run. So we get there, and I see my dad's car passing. So on the corner, I said, "Man, count of 3, we going to break." And they still behind us. "What up?" You know, just cussing, calling us everything. And we broke. My dad has the door open. Jump in or get left. I mean, literally hit the gas, bruh. It's like we jumping in the backseat of the car, close the door, and he drives off. First thing he says, "What you doing over here?" You know? So in Compton, because I had to come get you. You know what I mean? But that was that thing, like I said, no matter what, my dad was there. He wasn't there like to do all the other small stuff. But I think some dude one day tried to give me a bicycle, was stolen. And he gives me the bike, and they come. The kid goes back home, go back 2 blocks over, and says, "I'm the one who stole the bike." So they get out with pipes and bottles and everything like that. And I run into Andre and them house. And all of a sudden, I see my dad running down the street, no shirt, pants halfway buckled, throwing kids. Just throwing everybody. I mean, you know, it's just like by the ear type stuff. You know, get off my son. Nobody done anything. But they got knives and bottles and everything. All he got is, but my dad was a big guy.
Yeah.
And he's just throwing kids everywhere. And he says, what's going on? They say, "You stole my bike." My dad cusses him out. You know, my son got a bike, blah, 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 this raggedy. Now he's talking about the kid's bike, you know what I mean? And then he goes, "Matter of fact, it was that motherfucker right there that, you know," now, so they beat him up. You know, the dude that, so they beat the dude up that said it was me, you know, and gave the dude his bike. Then, of course, my dad was like, "You don't never take nothing that I didn't buy from you or wasn't given to you. Don't you ever take nothing." But I was like, okay. But so my lessons were always off of stuff. You know what I mean? I was in the back. There was gambling.
Yeah.
The guy forgot his number, and I told it. He was 6, I think. But he's talking. He's hitting. And he forgot his number. And he didn't hit it. But ain't nobody going to say he hit, right? And he goes, "I done got my damn number." I said it was 6, man. Everybody jumped. I'm a little dude. Everybody grown men. Everybody jumped up. And he go, "Man, that's P, son. That's P, son." He go, "Man, you lucky your daddy, boy." And so when of course, the news got to him. First of all, you ain't got no business being about there and grown folk stuff. But I'm trying to be everything you do. I see you back there. You don't do what I do. You do what I say. And I'm like, okay. You know, so anyway, when it came to raising them, man, it was just trying to find a happy balance. You know, and it worked out fairly well.
The happy balance.
Please. Oh yeah, most definitely.
That's the lesson for the day, y'all. The happy balance. If y'all got any questions for us, ask us in the YouTube comment section. We'll tackle them on the show. Make sure you say question in all caps in the beginning so we can see it faster. Y'all got anything to plug? Anything?
Yes, I do. Sorry. All-Star Teams is back. It just dropped. The episode would have just dropped by the time you guys see this. On Tuesday, it'll be back. I got 5 more episodes for this season, then it's done, and then we'll do season 2 down the line. But yes, it is back on every Tuesday, 12:30. That's it.
Bigger. Bigger on BET.
DC, y'all gonna be where this weekend?
Atlanta Comedy Theater. Me and Marlon. Prove It shirts coming out.
Oh,
Next week they'll be out, I promise. Prove It t-shirts.
Prove it, DC.
Prove it.
Prove it. They're gonna be out.
What you,
Next,
15?
Tony Baker and Friends is March 12th.
Hey.
So get your $15 together now.
Simply Prove.
New movie reviews coming.
You got the lineup already?
The lineup will be.
Hold on. Drum roll.
Who do I got on this one? I got Nick Carthan. I got Chloe Hilliard. I got Yasser Lester.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got Mimi Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Vladimir.
Oh, Vlad.
Oh, from New York.
Yeah, Vlad money.
So that's the lineup for March 12th. Get your $15 together. Tickets will go on sale shortly. And the Skibbity Pap hoodies are back, too. So get in on those. And, yeah, y'all.
I need a hella hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need a hella hoodie.
I thought you had one.
I got a shirt.
Oh, man, it's cold out there on the road. Anyway, man, thank y'all for tuning in. And as usual, we out here.